All right, we're going live. All right, everybody, we're just getting the live streams going here. Excellent. All right, we're live. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Let me know in the chat that you're here. We're streaming live on YouTube and Instagram right now. I'm currently monitoring the chats over on YouTube, monitoring the comments over on Instagram. So hop on in, say hi, let me know you're watching. Hit that like button. Hit some of those reaction buttons over on YouTube. Let's get going. We'll get started in a couple minutes here, about 3 minutes. We get started at 5:50. We go through some common scams to help you keep yourself and your loved ones safe from these scammers. So let me know you're here. Say hi. Lots of good stuff coming up. I want to hear from you. So make sure to hit that like button. We get started in a couple minutes here. Yeah, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We do this live stream every week to help bring awareness to common scams. Common scams targeting individuals like you, me, your friends, family, your loved ones. It's important to be aware of these scams because awareness is key to preventing you losing all your money, preventing yourself from becoming a victim. You know, these scammers, they want to take everything from you. So awareness is critical. And on this live stream, it's one of the many ways that we try to spread awareness of these scams. We do it every week. But we're also on Facebook and social media, posting things. We're creating videos on our YouTube channel, so check that out. Lots of good stuff going on. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow. Again, let me know in the chat and the comments if you're watching. I want to hear from you. We get started in less than 2 minutes here. Just giving everybody time to join and say hi, get all settled in. And we're going to dive right into some common scams, show you some examples, go over red flags to help you spot these scams, to protect yourself. Oh, cool. I see John in the chat. Welcome. Good to see you, John. Cool. You give me those jewels. Those jewels on YouTube on the vertical stream. Sweet. Thank you, man. Getting some reactions. Very cool. Who else is there? Let me know you're watching. There's Dave over on the regular view, I believe. Good to see you, Dave. Pleasure as always. Excellent. Excellent. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Get started in less than 2 minutes here. Less than 2 minutes to go. 1 minute. Say hi. Let me know you're watching. Again, we're streaming live on Instagram and YouTube. I'm not streaming on Facebook anymore. I posted a notice on there letting people know, but I'm not streaming on there anymore. I always have problems with them and their pain. So for now, we whittled it down to Instagram and YouTube. We're streaming live. Instagram and YouTube. We got a vertical stream going and a regular stream going too on YouTube. So hop on in there, say hi, let me know you're watching. Say hi in the chats, leave a comment. Or get started in a couple seconds now. Couple seconds to go. All right, cool. 5:50. Let's get this going. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Hope everybody had a good holiday weekend last week. We're back to our regularly scheduled weekly live stream on Thursdays. So we're streaming live again next week, next Thursday as well, at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're first time joining, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And our mission here over at Scamware 101 is to spread awareness of common scams that target you, your friends, your family, individuals, regular old folks getting targeted by scams every day. Because awareness is key to protect yourself, right? So help support what we're doing over here. Give us a like, a follow, subscribe. We're trying to put something good out there. And it really does help, so we appreciate that. And on this live stream this evening, we're going to go over 20 plus common scams that target individuals. Right? I think the official number is 21 or 22 we're actually going to do, but we're going to do over 20 common scams that target individuals. They're actively circulating right now. We're going to talk about some red flags to help you identify and prevent a scam. So that's always a fun little segment that we do on the live stream. And we're going to share real examples of these scams. We're going to share email examples. We're going to play some phone call examples, some text message examples, even show you some traditional postal service examples, some snail mail scams, letters that arrive directly to your mailbox. Because scammers will use every way they can to target you. All right, so hit that like button. Let me know you're watching. Give me some reactions. And we're going to dive right into it, folks. And you can see the agenda over here that I have on your screen. But look, if you're first time joining, these live stream agendas are flexible. I can switch them around. We could stop to answer questions. I'm all for mixing it up. So if you have questions, comments, let me know in the chat, and we'll interact. And I'll do my best to answer what I can for you. All right, so let's dive right in and start talking about some of these scams. First one we're going to start out with Social Security impersonation scams. All right, so the Social Security impersonation scams, they happen all year round, but they especially start picking up once there's some attention or changes happening to Social Security. Right, so once you start hearing mentions of Social Security on the news, that usually means that the scams are going to start picking up a lot more too, right? So that means watch out for Social Security scams. And what we're going to talk about are impersonation scams. And that's when basically the scammers impersonate Social Security officials and claim there are problems with the victim's number or benefits. They'll threaten action unless immediate payment or information is provided. Scammers also send fake emails that appear to be from Social Security, but link to dangerous websites instead. Right, and that's something to keep in mind with these impersonation scams, especially Social Security and government impersonation scams, is that the scammers will try to reach out to you by phone, they'll try to reach out to you by text message, they'll try to reach out to you by a regular letter, email, right? They'll try every method that they can to try and reach you, scammers. And we have examples where they impersonate Social Security. It's a big problem, right? And it's not just Social Security, it's other government agencies as well. Right, but I'm going to show you an example of an email scam that's circulating that impersonates Social Security. I'm going to show you two examples. First, I'm going to show you how this scam looks on your mobile device, and it's a little harder to tell it's a scam on a mobile device. All right, so Katie, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. So on the mobile device, you get this letter, or sorry, it's email, right? And it says, "Get your information now. To see your statement, please download the file from this link." It looks like it links to SSA.gov. Right? And it says, "We hope you find your new statement useful and informative. Thank you for using the Social Security Administration's services." All right, so basically, that's this email. They're trying to make it look like it's from Social Security. Up by the from area, it says Department of ... So you can't really see the full email address unless you click on it. All right, and that's an example of a scam email that's circulating that impersonates SSA.gov, Social Security. Right? And in this case, they're claiming that there's a statement available, and they're trying to get you to click that link. But if we look at the same email on a PC or on a desktop, you can see a little bit more details, and it starts becoming a little bit more clear that's a scam. Right? First of all, the from address is not from SSA.gov. Now you can see the full email address. You can tell it comes from a foreign email address, .co.ke, right, which is actually a Kenyan email address. And then when you move the mouse over the link, the SSA.gov link, it reveals that it doesn't really point to SSA.gov. It actually points to a completely different website of just, it's a mix of letters and numbers. All right, so now it becomes a little bit clearer that this is a scam. But it's a good example of an email scam that impersonates Social Security. And if you click that link, it's going to install malware on your device. Right? Just like Katie mentions over here in the chat, Social Security will never send email or texts. That's not what they do. They send snail mail. Right? And if you're ever concerned that some type of notification is real, you can always access SSA.gov directly. Don't click the link, right? But you can always access SSA.gov directly and check your account there. Or reach out to their contact information on the site. But don't trust links, right? And be aware that, if you get emails and text messages claiming to be from Social Security, it's a scam. And again, just a quick reminder before we go to our next scam is just because we talked about the email scam, these types of Social Security impersonation scams, they'll target you over the phone too. They'll target you through text message, just as much as email too. So, and just to give you a quick idea about what a serious problem it is, So this picture right now on my screen, this is a picture of an actual envelope that comes from Social Security, right? It's a real envelope they send out. And on the outside of their envelopes, they actually have a big scam warning there. See, scam alert. Scammers are pretending to be government employees. They may threaten you and may demand immediate payment to avoid arrest or other legal action. Do not be fooled. All right, so that gives you an idea what a serious problem this is when Social Security is actually putting this warning on their envelopes that they send out to people. Right? If you receive a suspicious call, hang up. Do not give them money or personal information. So watch out for these Social Security impersonation scams. They're pretty common right now. I think there's changes or updates being made to Social Security. And, again, whenever that's happening, you're going to notice more of these scams start circulating. And just to point something out, too, the example that I shared with you, the example that we have is actually dated February 6th, 2025. So it's earlier this year. But we still see reports coming in. Every week when we check the ARP scam tracker map, we see reports coming in from that week that describe getting the exact same email. So this email is still active and circulating. It's a common scam. Watch out for it, especially if you're on Social Security or you know somebody that gets Social Security. Make sure they're aware of it. Maybe some older loved ones, right? Make sure they're aware of their stuff so they don't fall for it. That's the first scam of the evening that we're talking about. Hey, Katie, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. The new red flags video, I'm so close to having it done. I was trying to get it done before the live stream today, but I have to put some final tweaks on it. But I think it's going to be up tomorrow. So I know you were asking about that. I think I'm gonna have it done by tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be posting it. I want to work on it more after the live stream tonight. But I'm so close to getting it done though, so it's coming soon. And to anybody else looking for new content, we got it coming soon. We got a second red flags video. So check it out tomorrow. I'm sure you all will see it pop up. It's good to see everybody tonight. We got some of the regulars here. Awesome. We got Dave, John, Katie. Let's see, we got Adrian. Good to see you. This is your first time joining, I think. Have you been on the live stream before? Let's see. You're saying I got a Social Security email about upcoming COLA increase. Ah, there we go. Right? So if that's happening, or scammers are going to claim that that's happening, right? And they'll definitely send out scams. So important to be aware of that. Make sure not to click on any links that go to different websites. Yeah, thanks for sharing. That's good to know. Next scam we're going to be talking about, tax and IRS impersonation scams. Kind of staying on the same theme right now as government agency scams, right? Because scammers love to take advantage of that. They know people are always confused about government things, especially taxes and the IRS, right? So, and these always pick up during tax season, but they do circulate all year round, but they always pick up more during tax season. And basically, these fraudsters impersonate tax authorities, claiming the victim owes taxes and must pay immediately to avoid penalties or arrest. They'll often demand payment via untraceable methods. Also, a lot of times, they'll say that you're entitled to some type of refund, right? You'll get a text message, and that's the example I'm going to share shortly, but you'll get a text message saying you're entitled to refund. And it impersonates the IRS, it impersonates the Department of Revenue, all right? And there's a scam. They say you're entitled to a refund, and they need to confirm your information. All right, but if you click that link, it takes you to a fake website. So I'm going to show you an example of that one in a moment. I'm just checking the chat here. Yeah, Katie, we're still having trouble with that your email address, getting it on the list. Which, by the way, we have a free mailing list anybody could join. If you're just joined the live stream here, you can check out our free mailing list over on scamaware101.com and hit and join mailing list. It should be working, but Katie, yeah, so I see yours. For some reason, the confirmation link isn't working, and I don't know why. So what I want to do is actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to trigger it one more time with you on, since you're there right now. And if you don't mind, if you could forward it to me, this way, because I don't know if the link expires after 24 hours or what, right? So I'm going to trigger it right now. I actually have it open because I was hoping you would come on so I could just trigger it, send it to you right now. So I'm going to resend the activation email. And then as soon as you get it, if you could just forward it to me, and this way I'll click the link and I'll see if it works, or if you don't mind. So I'm going to activate that right now. Send it to you. And then if you don't mind, if you just send it over, because I want to be able to click it I don't know how long the link is good for or how long it expires. Let's see here. Resend confirmation. Okay, cool. So it was just triggered again. You should get the email again. If you don't mind, if you just forward it over, as soon as you get it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to click the link and see if I get the same info or if it, same error or if it activates it. Appreciate that. All right, cool. I'm going to dive into, going to continue with this IRS impersonation example for everybody here. All right, so we're mentioning IRS and tax impersonation scams. And again, this is one of those situations where the scammer could reach you over with a phone call. They could send you a text message, right? They'll try various ways to reach you. And they'll claim that maybe you owe taxes and they try to get you to make an immediate payment, or they'll say you're entitled to a refund and they'll try to trick you into providing information. And in this example I'm going to share with you right now is a text message example of a scam that impersonates the Colorado Department of Revenue. And basically it says, your refund request has been processed and approved. Please provide accurate payment information by October 22nd, 2025. We will deposit the funds into your bank account or mail a paper check within 1 to 2 business days. All right. Then it has the fake link to click that takes you to a fake website. And what they're trying to do is they're going to try to steal your bank account details. Right. This is a scam. It's not really from the Colorado Department of Revenue. It's a scammer trying to trick you with a text message. So you can never trust links that come through a text message, especially from an unsolicited source that you weren't expecting. And notice how they put these scary things in there. Failure to submit required payment information by October 23rd will permanently disqualify you from receiving this refund. Right? And then they instruct you to close and reopen the message for the link to activate, which is a common red flag that this is a scam text message. Right, so that's one example of an IRS impersonation scam using a text message. Well, in this case, Department of Revenue, but it's the same scam for IRS. Here's an example the IRS provided us this year to share, where it says you are eligible to receive a $1,400 economic impact payment. Please provide your accurate personal information. We will deposit the amount into your bank account. Right, so it's the exact same scam and links to a fake website that impersonates the IRS. And the purpose is they're trying to steal your bank account details. Right, so important to watch out for that. And that's the IRS and tax impersonation scam. It always picks up a little bit more during tax season, but it still applies all year round. It's important to be aware of. Who's with me? Let me know in the chat if you're just joining. Say hi. Let me know you're watching. We're streaming live on Instagram and YouTube. Instagram and YouTube. We're not on Facebook, streaming on Facebook anymore, but we're still on Facebook. So make sure to follow us and like us if you have Facebook. We need the likes. We need the follows. Make sure to join our free mailing list over here on Scamware 101 for the latest updates and info. And the next scam we're going to talk about here is a tax forgiveness scam. Again, staying on the same theme as taxes and scams, government impersonation. So hold on 1 second. I'm just checking something. Oh, hey, Katie, I went and checked the email. Did you actually send the whole... You just sent a screenshot over or forwarded the email? Like, is this the actual email that you received? It looks like it's just a screenshot. Which is strange. That definitely shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like an image like that. It should have Like there's a button when you click yes, I want to subscribe actually work. It's almost like something's blocking it. But anyway, if you could let me know. So these tax forgiveness scams. So this is when fraudsters impersonate accountants offering tax forgiveness services, but they fail to provide the service or they try and steal your personal details. And what I'm going to share with you right now is a recording to watch out for that's circulating. And many people recorded this phone call to me, so watch out for it if you get this phone call about tax forgiveness scams.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. I'll indicate you have some back taxes out.
I'm going to restart that, the volume down a little bit. Let's first restart that.
Hi, this is Lindsay Carter from the Activation Department. Give me a call back at 833-850-2527. Our records indicate you have some back taxes owed. You're now eligible to apply for them to be forgiven with the Zero Tax Balance Program. Any back owed taxes can be enrolled to be forgiven through this program. But we do need to sign up this week. Just give me a call so we can start the process. It's really quick, and I'll keep your file open here. So my number is 833-850-2527. If you've already resolved this, call back and press 2 to be removed. Can't wait to speak with you. 2.
So that was an example of a tax forgiveness scam that's circulating right now. And, notice how they start that scam off with, you owe back taxes. So right away they're trying to use fear to scare you. Whether you owe back taxes or not, it plays the same thing for whoever that recorded phone call is playing for. Also, it's a good example about how AI is being used to sound much more realistic and convincing, right? And it almost sounds like a real person where she's saying, I have your file on my desk, right? But no, it's not a real person. It's a recording. Right, so they're using these shady and tricky tactics to try and get you to call back about this tax forgiveness scams. So if you get calls like that, don't trust it. It's very common, especially during tax season. It starts picking up. And it's active even now, too. People are still reporting them now. So watch out for those tax forgiveness scams. Yeah, Katie, I don't know. That's strange. The email shouldn't come through like that. Or at least when you forwarded it over, it's weird. It came through like a screenshot too. So I don't know if something's getting blocked or yeah, it looks like something's getting blocked. Maybe there's some like security filtering it out or something. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. It came through like as if it's just an image of the email instead of the button, or instead of being able to click the button. Maybe check. If you're using Outlook.com, maybe check using the Outlook app, or if you're using the Outlook app, maybe check Outlook.com, or maybe check on a different device on your phone or on your computer instead. But yeah, something strange is going on. I'm not sure. I'll see if I can look into it more after the live stream. But if it's happened for you, it might be happening for other people though. So I want to figure out what's going on. I have no way to activate it. Like I was looking at if I could just activate it and bypass, but it won't let me without you clicking the link. So if you're able to right click on the link and copy the link that it's supposed to go to, like where that button points to, and send me that link, like maybe then I could try clicking it too. But yeah, well, I'll mess with it more after the live stream though. But that's strange. I'm not sure. The next scam we're going to talk about is a fake promotion scam. They use a gift card. And, something to keep in mind is any mention of a gift card should be a red flag. And we're going to talk about that a little bit when we talk about red flags. But this gift card scam is interesting. I'm going to play a recording for you too. I was trying to find my slide here. Where is it? Sorry, I can't find that slide. Where'd it go? There it is. I gotta rename this, otherwise I'll lose it again next week. Let me rename this folder here. Okay, cool. All right, the next scam we're going to talk about is a fake promotion scam to pay with the gift card. Right? And basically, fraudsters impersonate a service provider, and they offer the victim a discount for paying with a retail gift card. Victims are tricked into purchasing gift cards and send them to a scammer. And what they'll do is they'll call you up, they'll impersonate your service provider like Comcast. And that's the example I'm going to play for you, is that the scammer calls and they say, this is Comcast. They say that your 50% discount's expiring, so your bill's going to double. And they call back this number to discuss, right? And they're trying to trick the victim into calling that number. It's not really Comcast, it's scammers, right? But if the victim calls that number, they get connected to a scammer. So let me play the phone call for you first, and I'll explain how the scam goes when somebody returns the call.
Hello, this voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
Right, so you get this phone call, impersonates Comcast. And look, just because the example says it's Comcast, I'm sure there's other variations of the scam that do Verizon and all these other providers. But in the example, what's happening is you get this voicemail. They claim to be from Comcast. They say your 50% discounts expiring today, so your bill's going to double, right? And they say call back this number. What's going to happen is if you call back that number, they're going to impersonate Comcast, and they're going to tell you, well, we have a new promotion going with Target. And so if you go purchase a $500 Target gift card and send it to us, we'll apply that to your account, and you'll still get the promotional discount. All right, so get that scam. So they're trying to trick the person purchasing a $500 gift card and providing it to them. All right, and the victim thinks they're dealing with Comcast. They think they're going to get a deal because they're paying with a gift card. But it's all scam just to get the $500 gift card out of them. All right, so an example is if you get a phone call claimed to be from Comcast, instead of calling the number that they say to call, right, actually call Comcast directly. Look up the official phone number for Comcast and call them directly, for example. But don't trust the phone number that calls you or the phone number that says to call back, because that's what they try to do. They try to trick you into making you think you're calling Comcast, but you're actually calling a scammer. So watch out for those voicemails. And any mention of a gift card needs to be considered a red flag, right? Because scammers always like receiving gift cards. And when you hear them get mentioned, it should cross your mind automatically. Wait a minute, is this some kind of scam? Who usually when gift cards are involved is a scam. Next scam we're going to go over is actually an investment email scam. Katie, this is the one that you submitted, actually. Dave mentions that sometimes they want you to pay up to 9 months of your bill up front. Yeah. Right, because you figure, $500 gift card, how much is your internet service or whatever cable bill each month? Right, they want you to purchase the $500 gift card, or they'll probably tell you to purchase 2 in that case, right, for 9 months. Makes sense. Let's try to get as much as they can out of you, all right? Surprised they don't ask you for a year. Cool. So this next is an example we're going to go over here is actually an investment scam email. Again, I remember Katie provided this example, and it's an interesting example. So this email, first of all, it's an email, right? And it's from some random Outlook.com address, JMH Holdings, Outlook.com. Right? It says potential investment partnership opportunity. It says dear friend. Right? So it's not really addressed to you. It just says dear friend. And I hope this email finds you well. My name is Joel Mercer. I'm CEO of JMH Holdings. Originally from France, but I'm based in the U.S. I'm reaching out to explore the possibility of establishing a partnership and profitable investment opportunities in your country. And they ask for a business proposal, managing an investment portfolio, and they say they have $70 million allocated for the project. And what's interesting about this email, looking for an investment partnership, is they attached a passport. So it's like they're trying to add credibility by attaching their passport to this email. But really, that's a huge red flag, because who attaches their passport to an initial unsolicited communication? You know, they're emailing you for the first time. They don't know you personally. Who's going to attach their passport to it, right? So, look, the passport's probably stolen, or AI. And this is an example of just some type of investment scam you would get. And it's an email example, but you could just as easily get sent this letter that says the same thing. And the only contact info is a WhatsApp phone number too, which is interesting. It doesn't look like they include an address anywhere. But no. All right, so there's lots of red flags in this example, and this is an example of investment scam. And again, just because I'm sharing an email example, you know, there's probably plenty of traditional snail mail examples of the same type of scam being sent out directly to people's mailboxes. So if you get an email like this or contact like this, and it has a picture of a passport attached, I don't trust this, red flag. But again, that's an example that I remember Katie provided, so I appreciate that example. I added it to the weekly list of scams that we cover here. Cool, we're actually running a little ahead of schedule here. About 10 minutes ahead of schedule. How's everybody doing out there? Let me know you're watching. Say hi in the chat. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cool. I'm going to check that email right now again, Katie. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps on coming in this way. It keeps on attaching it as like an image instead of the email itself. This is so strange. Yeah, like the entire body of the email for some reason ends up being put in an image. That's not normal. I don't know why it's happening. Tell you what, it's a great opportunity for other people to test out the mailing list. If you haven't joined yet, go check out our mailing list on scamware101.com. Hit join mailing list and let me know if the confirmation link works for you, because we're having some technical difficulties. But I did a test over, with another email address and it seemed to work, so I'll have to figure out what's going on. But anybody else, great time to join the mailing list. Let us know how it works out for you, and great way to get scamware tips that we send out and warnings too, reminders when we're going live, all good stuff. Help us stay in touch and keep up to date with the latest videos that we post and scam awareness alerts. Next on the agenda here, we're going to talk about some red flags to help you identify a scammer. We're actually 5 minutes ahead of schedule here, which is why I'm taking the time to ramble a little and talk. We're streaming live on Instagram, YouTube, bear with me. I'm just getting the red flag slides ready. Now, Katie, we'll definitely get you on there. We'll figure it out somehow. I think even worst case, after a certain amount of time, I think it expires you out of a queue or whatever. Then I think I might be able to manually add you, possibly. Or actually, I got another idea too that I could try a little later. I'll try something on the the break maybe, or probably after the live stream. Anyway, we're going to talk about some common red flags to watch out for to keep yourself safe and protected from scams. And we cover these red flags in our red flags video. And I'm excited to announce I do plan by tomorrow having our second red flags video up. So look forward to that, and we'll see if I get that posted by tomorrow, which I do plan on doing. I'm just doing some final editing. But anyway, red flags. We're going to talk about 5 of them that indicate you're dealing with a scammer. And the first one is that they direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Right? And we know that scammers like to use third-party chat apps to interact with their victims. Right? It's easier for them to communicate with victims in other countries. It offers them more anonymity for scammers to hide behind. Right? Some examples where it's part of the playbook, where they invite you to talk on a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp, is romance scams. Right? These scammers, they post fake dating profiles on dating websites. And then, when they start interacting with their matches, they invite them to continue talking on WhatsApp. Right? That should be the red flag when they're trying to get you to talk on WhatsApp. Wrong number scams. We're going to talk about wrong number scams a little later on a live stream. But that's when they try to befriend you. You get a random text message as a wrong number, but then they try to become your friend. And eventually they invite you to continue talking on WhatsApp. Right? So WhatsApp is the red flag. Investment scams. A lot of times, these scammers, they'll direct the victim to a Telegram group or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment or appear more legit. All right, but it's a scam, and a lot of times they'll have bots in those groups too to make it appear like there's interest in this investment when there isn't. All right, so the red flag is being asked to download and continue communicating on a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. And it's one of those things that we just know that scammers like to do that. They're not going to keep on talking through text message back and forth. They're going to try to get you over onto WhatsApp and a third-party chat eventually. So when you find yourself in a situation like that, it's just a red flag that should give you pause to kind of reanalyze the situation, make sure you're not making a mistake dealing with a scammer, right? In fact, they tell you to download any app. It's really cause for pause and considering, make sure to reanalyze what's going on here. So let's talk about red flag number 2. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Right, those are all major red flags because we know that scammers love to get paid in these unusual forms of payment. Why do they want to get paid this way? Because it's easier for them to transfer and move funds quickly, and it's harder for victims to recover the money after it's sent. Right, so whenever there's a mention of paying with gift cards, purchasing gift cards, cryptocurrency, using a Bitcoin ATM, it should cause a red flag to go off, in your head about, wait a minute, is this a scammer? Some examples where it's part of playbook. A lot of scams. But some examples where it's part of playbook for them to request these unusual forms of payment. IRS and Social Security scams. Right, so when scammers impersonate government agencies, they might ask you to make a payment in gift cards or cryptocurrency. And look, that's 100% a scam because we know that government agencies don't accept those forms of payment. All right. Romance scams. A lot of times a scammer, they'll request gift cards and cryptocurrency, as gifts. Right, the victim thinks they're just sending a gift card to someone that's, important to them, and they think that they're depositing cryptocurrency into a shared account they'll use together. But what they don't realize is what they're actually doing is they're sending these funds in a way that they won't be able to recover after they realize they're being scammed. Right, so that's why they're being asked for these forms of payment, and why it need to be a red flag. Why is this person accepting cryptocurrency? Why isn't my regular credit card good enough? Like, what's going on here? It needs to cause a red flag. Bank impersonation scams. A lot of times they'll trick victims into withdrawing cash from the bank, and they'll say purchase gift cards or cryptocurrency, deposit at a Bitcoin ATM. Right, those are all red flags if they instruct you to do that. There's other unusual forms of payment too that are becoming more common. Now they're telling you to purchase gold. That's starting to become a common occurrence. The scammer says to purchase gold. I'm not sure the exact steps they tell you to follow to do that, but it is something they're saying to do. And they're also having couriers now and Uber drivers, like literally having Uber pick up the cash and courier it to someone else that's working with the scam. So lots of strange things happening. But anyway, that's red flag number 2 is unusual forms of payment. Gift cards, Bitcoin, ATMs, crypto. Red flag number 3. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Look, a lot of times what they're really trying to do is open an account that's using the victim's phone number, or they're trying to log into a victim's account that's linked to their phone number, or they're trying to reset a victim's password to gain access to the account. Right? Usually that's more likely why you're getting a code sent to your phone. There's no reason an individual should be sending a code to your phone and then asking you to return it. Right? Usually they're trying to do something shady with your phone number, and you need to, when they request that code from you, they're trying to trick you into letting them do it. Right? Just to talk about that a little bit more. Let's say they're sending a code to your phone and they're telling you to provide it back to them. What they're really trying to do, they might be trying to log into one of your accounts. You're getting that code as a security measure. You provide it back, you allow them into your account. All right, password reset. Somebody trying to reset your password. You get that code as a security measure, right? You send that code back to them. You allow them to change your password. And here's another one: Google Voice scams. All right, so this is interesting. You provide the code to them. It allows the scammer to create a Google Voice account linked to your phone. When they can create a Google Voice account linked to your phone, they get a free phone number that they can use to scam people, and it's also linked to your number as an account. So there's all shady things that could be happening when an individual is telling you to provide a code back to them. A lot of times you'll see this on a marketplace type website like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, Nextdoor, right? There's a lot of new marketplace sites popping up, but they'll impersonate a buyer or seller, and they'll say, "I just want to confirm your phone number. Send the code back to me." But what they're really trying to do something shady like this. So, be aware. Don't get fooled if somebody's telling you they're going to send a code to your phone. Don't provide it back. Don't trust it. It's a red flag. Yeah, Katie's saying if scammers using Uber, they're going to make the company look bad. Yeah, it's crazy because recently there was an article about an Uber driver in New Jersey who he was being used as a courier for a scam, or the police thought he was being used as a courier at least, and he arrived and they arrested him thinking he was the scammer, and he ended up suing them and won a whole bunch of money from the New Jersey. I guess it was the town that did it, so whatever town it was in New Jersey. But yeah, because the Uber driver, they arrested him thinking he was the scammer, but he was just being used as a courier. So, but yeah, it's wild. Red flag number 4, they're dealing with a scammer. They ask you to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. And this has become more and more common over the years. Scammers love to get onto your PC and device because it's a goldmine to them. It has so much information about you, your financial information, your logins. A lot of times they could extract your username and passwords if you have them saved in your browser. All right, so they like to get onto your devices and get all that juicy information. They could encrypt your files, hold them for ransom, blackmail you. A lot of times they could log into your bank accounts or trick you into logging into your bank accounts, and they could view what funds you have and know how much money to try and steal. It's all scary stuff. You never want to let a scammer onto your device. And some examples where it's part of the playbook for a scammer to try to get on your device are tech support scams. They have these fake virus alerts pop up saying, "Warning, you're infected with a virus. Call this number." If you call a number, you get connected to a scammer. And then a scammer asks, "Hey, let me connect to your PC, I'll help you with the virus." But it's all a trick to get onto your device. All right, fake order scams. You'll get notified that an order was placed and they call a number to dispute it. Right? There's no order. There was no order placed. It's a trick. But they're trying to get you to call a number to say, "Hey, I didn't place this order." And then they're going to say, "Let us connect to your device and see what you say." All right, so it's a trick to try and get on your device and steal your personal details. Fake fraudulent activity. Right? They'll reach out to you and they'll say they're investigating fraud. They'll impersonate your bank or government agency, investigating suspicious activity under your account. Right? And they'll say, let's connect to your device and you can log into your accounts. We'll check for suspicious activity. But it's all a trick, right? You let this scammer onto your device and start opening your bank accounts for them, right? It's all a trick. So that's red flag number 4. They ask to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. And red flag number 5, our final red flag that we're including in this live stream. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. Right? It's common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want to discuss the situation with other people. The more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. Right? So scammers don't want you to talk to anybody. And a lot of times they'll come up with these elaborate stories to prevent you from talking to someone, but it's all part of the scam. So for example, grandparent scams. It's when a relative, they make you think a relative's in trouble, needs assistance, right? But they'll say they're embarrassed about the situation, not to tell anybody. Right? But that's all a trick. They're just trying to trick you into not telling anybody. Investment scams. They'll tell you it's an inside tip and not to share it, or a price is just for you and not to tell anybody. Right? They just don't want you to tell anybody. at least until they get your money. Right? Inheritance scam, they'll mail letters impersonating law offices regarding an inheritance. I'll show you an example later on in the live stream. But the letter requests confidentiality. And that's the red flag. It's part of the scam. Fake fraudulent activity impersonates an agency investigating fraud, and they will request confidentiality. And this one's funny, right? They call you up, they say they're investigating fraud, but they'll tell you it's important you don't tell anybody about this because it could hurt the investigation. Right? So don't tell anybody we had this conversation. You know, don't tell a bank teller while you're taking the money out. You could hurt the investigation. Then we got to hold you responsible for that, right? So it's a scary. They give you this scary narrative where it's like you got to keep quiet, right? But really, they're just trying to get you to. They're trying to avoid you talking to anybody and realizing you're being scammed, right? So that's red flag number 5. They request you to keep the matter confidential or secret, and I'll point that out as we go over some more scams this evening, some more scam examples because it's pretty common. So that's 5 red flags that indicate you're dealing with a scammer. How are you all doing out there tonight? Let me know you're watching. Yeah, those 5 red flags. We have a video about those, so check those out. Check that video out. And we got another one coming soon. Like I said, I'm excited. So I'm putting it out there. So now I'm putting it out there. So I gotta get it done. Right? Everybody's gonna be checking tomorrow. Gotta hold myself accountable now. But no, I'm so close to having it done. Just making some final changes. So in summary, those 5 red flags. In case you joined us a little late. The first one was they direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Right? We know scammers like third-party chat apps, so it's always a red flag when someone you don't know is telling you, hey, go download this app and talk to me. Red flag number 2, they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Right? All these unusual forms of payment. Really, the scammers like to get them because they're harder to retrieve once they're sent, and they're easier to move. Right? So we know scammers love getting those payments. They should just be a red flag when somebody's asking you for those. They asked you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. That's red flag number 3. Right? And a lot of times, these scammers, they'll say they want to verify your phone number. We're going to send a code to it. All right? But what they're actually doing is they're trying to use your phone number for something. So if an individual asks you to provide a code that are sent to your phone, don't trust it. Red flag number 4, they ask to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. You only want to let trusted people onto your PC, trusted people that work on your computer, whether it's the computer shop down the street, maybe somebody you work with, that family member that's good with computers. You should only let the trusted people that you know onto your device. If somebody you don't know is asking to access your device, even if it's some tech support that you're not familiar with, right, be suspicious. And, in many cases, you're better off being like, no, I'll have my own tech ID with this. Right, but don't trust random phone numbers and people asking to connect to your device. And red flag number 5, they request to keep the matter confidential or secret. There's always a big red flag. Scammers don't want you talking. The less you talk, the less likely you are to be told it's a scam, so they want to keep it quiet. Don't fall for it. Like an inheritance scam. Who are they to tell you not to tell anybody about inheritance? That's up to you, right? So watch out for those 5 red flags. That'll help you spot what's a scam. Dave says, how about when they send victims to withdraw a large amount of money and lie to their bank if asked what the money is being... Yeah, yep, exactly. I mean, a lot of times they say to tell a bank teller you're making home improvements and you need to pay the contractors. A lot of times they'll say that. They'll say the bank teller could be in on the fraud, so you can't tell the bank teller why you're taking out the funds. You can't tell her there's an investigation or you talk to us because she could be part of the whole thing. Right? They try to make it all scary, like you could ruin an investigation if you talk. So usually, I would take the first coffee break, but I'm going to keep going here because I want to actually wrap up the live stream tonight by 8:45, so that'd be 3 hours, and I want to try and get some finishing tweaks done to our latest video. So I'm gonna keep on powering through this. I'm pretty good. I'm sure I'll take a break at one point to refill the Scamaware 101 coffee mug, which is available on our YouTube store. Make great Christmas gifts. But But yeah, we keep powering through right now. And we're going to continue talking about some more common scams. If you're just joining, say in the chat, let us know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up, like button. Follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We have links to our pages on scamware101.com, YouTube, Blue Sky X, Facebook Threads, Instagram. We're on them all, except TikTok. All right, some more common scams. This next scam we're going to talk about is a arrest warrant scam, sometimes referred to as a jury duty scam. We did a video about this one that includes a little bit more information for you too. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. Share it with a loved one. But basically, an arrest warrant scam is when a victim is contacted by a scammer impersonating law enforcement. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer then threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. Right. So what's happening here? And again, this is a good example of how scammers use fear and threats to scare victims, right? You get a phone call. And by the way, the caller ID will show the phone number of the sheriff's department too. All right, so you get this phone call. It looks like it's a sheriff's department calling. It's a scammer. They say that you missed jury duty or you failed to show up to court. There's going to be an arrest warrant issued unless you pay right now immediately. All right, and that could be a scary situation. You know, someone might rush to pay without thinking. At least that's what the scammer hopes, and that's what happens to a lot of people. All right, and sometimes these scammers, they'll even provide fake paperwork too. So you have to be aware of that. If somebody calls up and claims that there's an arrest warrant being issued, ask them what organization is issuing the arrest warrant, and say thank you, hang up, and then reach out directly to the organization if you really want to confirm it's true. But look, this isn't really how they handle things. You know, the police don't usually give you a call and say, hey, there's an arrest warrant being issued. Usually they show up and come get you, right? So someone calls you up claiming there's an arrest warrant, be suspicious. You don't have to sit there on the phone with them and start making payments immediately. They'll understand if you say, okay, let me call you back and let me look into this. Right? If they're trying to pressure you to stay on the phone, it's a scam. Don't trust it. And in the video, I shared some clips of warnings. Some warnings in the media that sheriffs were having. So check out that video on our YouTube channel. Arrest warrant scams. And again, we see a lot of warnings about these because the scammer's impersonating law enforcement. And law enforcement doesn't like that, right? So we see a lot of warnings coming out of local police departments and sheriff's offices about this scam, arrest warrant scams. Katie says the scamware merch is nice. And yes, we're all waiting for the latest red flags. Awesome. I'm glad you like the merch. I gotta get some updated merch up there. I'll think of some updated things to put up there. Maybe some different logos and I got some ideas. We'll see what's coming up in 2026. I'll come out with some new merch in 2026 for y'all. This next scam we're going to talk about is bank impersonation scams. So scammers impersonate the bank, usually claiming suspicious activity was detected under a victim's account. Victims are then tricked into withdrawing and transferring funds to the scammers. And look, these scammers, they're sneaky. They do this for a living. They're very good at what they do. They know what to say, right? And what they'll do is they'll impersonate your bank. Caller ID will show your bank's phone number. It'll say your bank's name too, right? So you'll think it's the bank calling. And these scammers, they'll tell you, hey, someone's got access to your account. Someone's stolen your identity. It's important that you move your funds to a secure account. All right, so we need you to transfer these funds or withdraw these funds and deposit them into this Bitcoin ATM or purchase these prepaid cards, right? So, but the whole thing is they trick the victim into thinking their money's not secure. Somebody's gotten into your account. They're going to withdraw it at any minute. You need to get there first, right? This is what you do. Purchase gold on this website. Do a transfer from your bank account, right? And the thing about these bank impersonation scams, they'll target you over the phone. They'll target you with a text message. And the example I'm going to share with you right here is a text message example with a story behind it, though. Right? So before the person who provided this text message, Right before she received this message, she also got a phone call. Right, and the caller ID said it was TD Bank. Right, she didn't answer the phone, and immediately after she got a text message that is impersonating TD Bank. Right, the text message says, "Verified TD Bank card activity. Did you attempt a transaction for $250 at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized or no if not." Right, but this isn't really from TD Bank. It's from a scammer, and there was no $250 charge. Right, this is a scam attempt, and the idea is they want her to reply back saying, "No, I didn't make this charge," because she didn't. She didn't make a $250 charge at Walgreens. Right, and then what's going to happen is scammers going to say, "Okay, well, somebody has access to your account, and your bank account's not secure, and you need to move those funds." Right, and they go into a whole narrative about someone's got access to your bank. Right, and there's a good example of how they're persistent. They could start with a phone call, and if you don't answer the phone, then you're going to get a text message. Right, and they can be very convincing. The caller ID will show TD Bank on it again, which is, you hear about victims' stories when it comes to this scam, and a lot of them believe, they fell for this, even though they said it sounded strange what they were telling me to do, but they thought they were talking to their bank because they didn't realize caller ID couldn't be trusted. They thought, well, it says my bank, so it must be my bank. Right, just like what happened to this woman right here. This is a victim's story here. She said, "I feel so stupid. This young Connecticut woman had her bank account drained by scammers after answering trusted Wells Fargo number." Right? Now, this is what happened to her. And in her case, she got a call from who she thought was Wells Fargo. Right? Her caller ID said Wells Fargo. And they told her that she needed to secure her Zelle account. There was suspicious activity happening. And she needed to secure her Zelle account by transferring money to another Zelle account, which would be returned right back to her, supposedly. But it was a scam, obviously, after the fact, right? You find out it's a scam. The money wasn't returned to her, and she was actually tricked into transferring her funds through Zelle to scam her. And according to her, she lost, I believe, $4,100. Does it say how much? I'm pretty sure it says how much. No? It was a different one that said $4,100, but in this case, they used Zelle as a way to trick her into transferring the money. And that should be a red flag too. If somebody calls you up claiming to be from the bank and they start telling you to transfer money through Zelle, it's a red flag. And also, by the way, notice this is a young woman too. So I do like to mention this every now and then as well. A lot of people think that it's only older folks that fall for these scams. And no, I'm young and I'm not going to fall for it. But look, a lot of younger folks, and according to the FTC's report earlier this year, the younger folks actually fall for more scams than the older folks. It's just the older folks lose more money. They have more retirement saved up, more savings, and they lose more money to the scammers. But younger folks fall for just as much, if not more, scams than the older folks. So awareness is important, regardless of whatever age you are. Anyway, bank impersonation scams. Watch out for them. Whether they're calling you over the phone, sending you text messages. We know this is one of those scams that will target you for many, many different directions. How y'all doing out there? Let me know you're watching. We're streaming live on YouTube, Instagram. Could be going to about 8:45, so we got about 2 more hours to go. Next scam we're going to talk about is tech support scams. I mentioned this one a little earlier during the red flags. And in the case of these tech support scams, victims receive a fake virus alert on their device and are tricked into calling a fake tech support phone number. The victim is unknowingly connected to a scammer who requests access to the victim's device. The scammer then steals personal and financial information from the victim. So this is one of those cases where a lot of times the objective is for the scammer to get onto the victim's device. And they use these fake virus alerts that everybody is susceptible to, right? If you're on a device that you're browsing the internet, whether it's on your iPhone, your Windows computer, your desktop, your MacBook, it doesn't matter what device you're using. If you're browsing the internet and you get a pop-up from a website, you could get one of these fake virus alerts, these fake virus pop-ups, because that's what they are. They're just a web page. Right, but they're designed to look like a virus alert. All right? And what happens is you get this virus alert. I'm going to show you some examples right now. And it tricks you into calling for support. They try to trick you into calling a fake tech support phone number, right, where you're actually connected to a scammer. And here's an example of one of these fake virus alerts, and this one impersonates McAfee. And you can see how believable it is. It's got the same colors, the logo, and it says, your PC is infected with viruses, action required. Call McAfee helpline. All right, but if you call that number, you actually get connected to a scammer. You don't get connected to McAfee. And scammers could try to connect to your device and go through a whole narrative. Sometimes they'll tell you that hackers got into your device and you need to withdraw your money, and they'll come up with all these crazy narratives to try and trick and scare the victim. But anyway, if you call this number, it's a scam. And one of the things to keep in mind is that a real virus alert won't have a number to call. Right? That's how you know this is fake. Let's talk about this next example here. It impersonates Norton by Symantec. Threats detected. Right? System critically infected. If you're not able to click this button, immediately contact support, and there's a phone number to call. But there's just another scam, right? And again, if it has a phone number to call, that's how you know it's a fake virus alert. It's not real. Right? A real virus alert won't have a number to call. Call this number, you get connected to a scammer. You're going to try to steal your money. This next example, Windows Defender is a fake virus alert too. It's got the Microsoft logo, Windows Defender logo, their color theme. Pretty convincing. Right? It says access to this PC has been blocked for security reasons. Contact Windows support. It's got a number to call. But if you call that number, it's a scam. It's not really Windows support. It's going to connect you to a scam center that's full of hundreds of scammers that are sitting there ready to try and scam you out of your money. So these are all examples of fake virus alerts and tech support scams. You know, the objective is to get you to call these fake tech support numbers for help. Sometimes they'll even play a recording on loop that plays out to speakers. You're infected with viruses. And I mentioned earlier, everybody's susceptible to this type of scam, even Mac users on Apple devices, right? And this is an example of one right here. This fake virus alert pop-up, it targets Mac users. Right? It's got a Safari logo here. Virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Apple firewall warning. Your computer has a serious virus. If you see this message, you should call Apple support and then it has the fake number to call. Right? But if you call it, you get connected to a scammer. It's another example. It's a little bit of an older example, but it still applies. Right, impersonates Mac. Warning, Mac OS is infected with viruses and other malicious applications. Has Apple's logo, Apple Care. Please call Apple support at. If you call that number, you actually connect to a scammer. They'll impersonate Apple support and they'll say, yeah, we could assist you. Let's connect to your device. But it's a scam. Don't do it. That last example here, very similar to the previous one. Warning, Mac OS is infected with spyware and other malicious applications. And it's got a different Apple logo there. Please call Apple support. Call that number to scam. It's not really Apple support, and it's all a trick to get you on the phone with a scammer. So don't trust it. Tech support scams. Sometimes we hear about cases of they'll try to get you over the phone, meaning they'll call you and they'll say, "I'm calling from Microsoft, and we detected a virus." But in most cases, it's these fake pop-ups that pop up on the screen that trick users into calling them. So it's important to be aware of that. Don't fall for it. How are you all doing out there this evening? Let me know you're watching. Give me some reactions. Anybody new joining? Love to hear from you. Don't be shy. We're streaming live on YouTube and Instagram. You can follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X. So make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share it with some friends. Get some more people up in here. We're going to about 8:45, so we got just under 2 hours left. All right, the next scam we're going to be talking about, this one's important to be aware of with the holidays coming up and the holiday that just passed, is road toll scams. And basically, that's when scammers impersonate road toll services like EasyPass, SunPass, and FastTrack. And they claim an unpaid toll is due. Victims are usually contacted by text message or email containing a link to pay. However, the link opens a fake website designed to steal any personal or financial information entered by the victim. There never was an unpaid toll due, right? And the reason why I warn people about this one, with the holidays coming up and the holidays just passing, is scammers are aware of holiday travel. They know that more people are traveling, right? You're more likely to be visiting these states, like some past, like Florida, especially during this time of year, right? And they know people are traveling all over the country and driving all over the country to visit family during these various holidays, throughout November, December. So they increase these scams, and people are more likely to think, oh, I must have missed a toll when I drove out to visit so-and-so during the holidays. All right, so it's important to be aware of these road toll scams during this time of year. They're active all year long, but especially right now and as the holidays approach. But here's some examples of what I'm talking about. Please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd in order to avoid excessive late fees and potential legal action on statements. Please pay the tolls in time. Thank you for your cooperation and wish you a pleasant holiday. And it's got the fake link to SunPass to pay this fake toll. But they're going to steal whatever payment details you enter. Here's another one. Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Reminder, your bill for $6.99 is due soon. Please visit. And then you got the fake website there. And you can see it came from a country code outside the U.S. +63. It's a Philippines country code. So that's always a red flag when you get a message from a country outside of yours. Your vehicle has unpaid toll bill. To avoid excessive late fees on your bill, please sell it promptly. Thank you for your cooperation. Link to the fake website. Another one came from the Philippines. Sometimes these scam text messages, they arrive with just an attachment. All right, so here's a blank text. It has nothing but an attachment. Never open an attachment from an unknown source, especially one you weren't expecting. All right, and we'll do it for you over here at Scamware 101. Right, so if you opened that attachment, what it would have been is a document. It says toll violation notice. And it basically says you missed the toll, you owe $9.08, and that has a link to pay now to a fake website. All right, it says from the Toll Enforcement Authority. So let's say you did click one of these links. It might take you to the website that looks like this. This one impersonates Washington State's Good to Go service. We've got the logos, the color. All right, it looks pretty legit. And then you click payment. All right, it takes you to the second page, and it steals any payment details you enter. So watch out for these unpaid road toll scams. Especially over the holidays. We're gonna be seeing them pick up over the next 2 months, I guarantee it. And the other scam to keep in mind, it's very similar to the road toll scams, and also one to keep in mind, especially during the holidays. It's going to be these fake traffic ticket scams. It works the same as this road toll scam, right? You get a text message, except instead of saying you have an unpaid road toll, it says, Illinois Department of Vehicles final notice. Enforcement penalties begin on July 25th. Our records show that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket. In accordance with Illinois Code 15C, 16, blah, blah, blah. If you do not complete the payment by July 24th, we will take the following actions. Has a list of all these scary things that are going to happen, right? Because remember, scammers love to use fear and threats to create this false sense of urgency and get you to react. Right, so it goes into all those threatening things that are going to happen. They report you to the DMV, violation database, suspend your vehicle registration, suspend your driving privileges, transfer to a toll booth, charge a 35% fee. You may be prosecuted and credit score affected. And then you got the link to pay now to the fake website. Right, so it's the same as the unpaid road toll scam. You get a text message, except this one just claims you have a traffic ticket. And look, just because the example I'm showing you says Illinois, here's an identical example that recently came from Nebraska. Identical, even the code, administrative code number that they put there. All right, and the only difference is they swapped that Illinois with Nebraska. Once you see these scams circulating in one state, you can pretty much rest assured they're circulating in all 50 most of the time. So watch out, be aware. You get any of these text messages claiming you have unpaid road toll, outstanding traffic ticket. Be suspicious. Don't click the link. Right? Don't trust any contact information in there. If you're concerned it's real, go through official sources. Right? Open up your EasyPass app and see if they actually have EasyPass, SunPass app. See if there's actually anything in there, about owing anything. or go to the official website. Don't click the link. Go to the official website and look it up there. But don't trust text messages, unsolicited text messages. Yeah. Unfortunately, some of these rotel services, they'll send you text messages about reloading your account, right? And each state is different. But most of the time, these text messages are going to be scams, especially ones that say, click here and pay immediately and threaten you. All right, the point is never trust any links that come in a text message. Go check the site manually through official channels if it comes down to it. But don't fall for it, especially during the holidays, holiday travel. Next scam we're going to talk about here. Wrong number scams. So we did a video about this scam, and it got over 101,000 views. It was our first and only video so far that went viral. It's wild, but we got over 101,000 views on this wrong number scam video, which is pretty cool. So we have that video over on our YouTube channel. You can check that one out. But basically, wrong number scams. Scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. When someone replies wrong number, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into a romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victim. Excuse me. All right. So basically, how these wrong number scams work is there a way to find new phone numbers and new victims to target, right? And they just start sending these random messages to random phone numbers. And the tricky part is these messages could be anything, right? You could get any kind of message. And the idea is to get you to reply, to say, who is this? A wrong number, right? That's the first mission, is to get you to reply to the message. Because if you reply, even if it's just to say wrong number or who is this, you're letting the scammer know that your phone number is active. Right? And then it'll target you with more scams. So that's the first point of a wrong number scam, is get you to reply. And right then they know, okay, this is an active number that I should target even more. Right? But they're going to try and keep the conversation going. And they're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, you have a wrong, I messaged a wrong number, but you sound friendly. And they're going to try to become your friend and get a conversation going with you. Sounds silly, but it works, and they're good at it. And again, it's tricky because the initial message could be anything. Right? It can start out with something like, excuse me, is this Emma? Or, hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Or, hi. Right? Just a message that says hi. Right? Because then somebody's going to reply back and say, who is this? Or they're going to reply back and say, no, this isn't Anna. Or reply back and say, no, this isn't Emma. Right? But now they're letting the scammer know right off the bat, this is an active number. Add me to your list and target me with more scams. Right? So you don't want to reply to those types of text messages. Right, but I'm going to give you some examples of how these scams, how these conversations could go. Right, so let's look at a couple more examples of these wrong number scams. All right, this one starts out with, I'm Margaret, are you Lillian? Person replies back, I'm Izzy. The scam replies back, I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake between your number and Lillian's number. I hope I didn't disturb your good day. Right? Victim replies back, that's okay. At that point, conversation should be over. It's established, it's a wrong number, but because it's a scam, the scammer's going to keep on going. Thank you for your understanding and patience. You're a kind person. I hope you have a good day today. I'm 36 years old. Would you mind telling me your age? Right, so you got to start trying to get information out of you. Even though they know it's a wrong number, right, they're going to try to start hooking into conversation. All right, here's another example. Starts off with, have a cup of coffee together sometime. Person replies back, who is this? Right, so you failed the first test by replying back, saying, who is this? Right, the scammer says, they went her whole story, thought it was my friend Laura, I'm Zoe, right? Victim replies back, yeah, wrong number. Right, scammer goes, I'm sorry, I thought it was Laura's number, I think I dialed the wrong number, area code, I hope I'm not bothering you. Right, they keep on going. They're not going to stop, even after it's established it's the wrong number. Right, victim replies back, no, you're good, have a great day. Right, scammer still keeps going, thank you for your kindness. I just realized I entered the wrong area code, where are you from? Right, so last one asked age, right? And then this one asks where you're from. They're eventually all going to ask the same questions, age, location, name, ask if you work, if you're married, stuff like that. They're going to try to get to know you. A couple more examples here. Right. This one starts off with a message that says, hi. Reply back, hi, who's this? Right, now they know the number's active, target more. I'm Karina, are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. You picked this number for me. No, sorry, I had the wrong number. Right. Conversation should end, but because of scam. Oh my gosh, I checked and found out I entered the wrong area code. Hope it doesn't bother you. That's okay, no problem. Again, conversation should end, but it doesn't. Thank you very much. You're a very polite person. Hope we could be friends. My name is Karina. What can I call you? Right? So they're asking your name. We reply back. You say Pat. Could be a girl. Could be a guy. Right? If you're messing with them. Replies back. You have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia. Currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live? And then we ended the conversation. But you could tell it goes through the same script. Right? Oh, sorry. I must have got the area code wrong. But you seem nice. What's your name? Where are you from? What's your age? Right? And eventually he's going to say, hey, let's keep talking on WhatsApp. So if you ever wonder why you get so many wrong number text messages, this is why, because it's a scam. And the best advice I can give you is not to reply back at all, right? Even if you think it could be a legit wrong number, I don't even reply back. They'll figure it out, right? It's not worth it because 99% of the time it's going to be a scam. There's no point in even replying back. All right, so I have a couple more examples. I have another recent example here. Yeah, so here's an example that someone recently provided. Right, and this is an example of how they included a picture with the message. Right, and this one starts off with, want to join me for lunch. Right, it's just some random message. Right, and the person was messing with them. I'm not going to read what they sent back, but they were messing with the scammer a little bit. Right, but in this case, they included a picture. Right, which is what these scammers will do. And usually they'll be able to attract a female to try and get responses. They figure that's where the best odds of getting a response, right? So, but there's just another example. They'll include an image with it. Here's another one. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And it includes another picture, right? And the thing with this, is this a real person? A picture of a real person? Who knows? Because with AI, they can just generate it now, right? You used to be able to do a reverse image lookup. You would find pictures of people that were stolen and being used. It was a way that you could tell, oh, this is a scammer, right? But now with AI, they can just generate pictures that aren't out there. And they'll show up. So you don't know if it's AI or a real person or what. Dave says, they tell him he's a nice person. Guess they don't know him too well. Uh-oh. I think you're a nice person, Dave. So in this example, right, you get this text message. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. It has the picture here. Right, and then notice that 4 hours later, like we didn't reply, knew it was a scam. Right, 4 hours later is a follow-up text message. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right, so it's important to recognize here when it comes to these wrong number scams. Initially, these are bots. These aren't even people sending out the text message. Initially, these are bots. They're programmed to send out the same messages, gather the same information. What's your location? What's your name? How old are you? Yada, yada, yada. Right? And then eventually, once it collects all that information, it'll switch to a real scammer. Right? But initially, these are just bots that are sending out the same message, the same images, right, to hundreds of thousands of people all day long. And it's a numbers game. They know that some people are going to reply. All right, so don't fall for it. All right, you get this text message, attract a female attached. All right, don't fall for it. It's a scam. It's not your lucky day. So anyway, wrong number scams. Watch out for them. You can check out our video on our YouTube channel about that one. We shared a bunch of examples that we shared on the live stream. We're in that video. And again, 101,000 views. Pretty cool. Lots of comments. A lot of people receiving the exact same text messages, the exact same pictures in the text messages. Right? So it's confirmation. People are getting those messages too. So wrong number scams. Don't fall for them. Be aware. How you all doing this evening? Anybody new joining here? Let me know if you just joined. Say hi in the comments, in the chat. We want to hear from you. We're live streaming on YouTube, on Instagram. Do this live stream every week to spread awareness of scams that target individuals like you, me, your friends, your family. Because they're being targeted all day long by scammers, whether it's through email or text message. And it's important to be aware of these scams so you can protect yourself and not fall for it. You know, once they get the money from you, it's very hard to recover those funds. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, I believe is a saying. So we're going to continue here talking about some more scams. Also, if you just joined us, make sure to sign up for our free mailing list here on scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you some scam awareness tips, reminders when we're going live. All good stuff. If you have any issues clicking the confirmation link, let me know. We got some reports of that, so I'd like to know if anybody else has some problems with it. But join the free mailing list. It's the best way to stay in touch. And also follow us on your favorite social media platforms. YouTube, Blue Sky X, Facebook Threads, Instagram. Again, say hi in the chat. Give us some reactions. Let us know you're watching. We want to hear from you. This next scam we're going to talk about some QR code scams for the next 10 minutes or so. They're becoming more and more common and important to be aware of. All right, the first one we're going to talk about is a free gift postcard or letter, right? Offering your free gift. And it has a QR code to scan. And look, just because this example we're going to show is an actual physical postcard, the thing about these QR codes is we're seeing them pop up on websites. We're seeing them being sent through email and through text messages. Scammers using QR codes to bypass spam filters, right? Because instead of having a link now, that spam filter will block. There's a QR code image that's getting through. And the QR code just takes you to another website. Right. So the example we're going to share with you here is a free gift offer, right? And it has a QR code to scan. And a QR code is just like a link, as in you want to be careful just clicking on any random link. You want to make sure it's going to the real website. And you don't just want to trust any link that anybody sends you. And it's the same thing with QR codes. You want to be careful because they can take you anywhere, right? And in this example, there's a postcard. It's offering you free wireless Bluetooth earbuds. And then it instructs you to scan the QR code. But if you do, it's going to take you to a malicious website that steals your personal information, like your name, address, your Amazon account, your credit card number. All right, so you get some random free offer in the mail, especially for something that's worth $100, $200. Be suspicious. All right, you see some offer in public or QR code in public, be careful scanning it. At the very least, preview where it goes. A lot of times, if you scan a QR code, it'll give you a preview and make sure it looks legit at least. But be careful. Scammers are using QR codes. And what they do now is they'll print out stickers of their malicious QR codes and they'll slap them on top of the real QR codes, which I'm going to show you an example of that over here on our next example. Of a QR code scam that's happening here. And this one is actually a alert that came from the BBB, right? To double check that QR code before you pay for parking. Because what's happening is these QR code scammers, they're printing out these malicious QR codes, and then they're replacing the ones, they're putting their stickers on top of the QR codes that are on parking meters, right? So you go out, you park now, a lot of times there's QR codes on parking meters, you scan them, they bring up the app or the website to pay for parking, right? Well, now, scammers put their code on top of that. So you think you're paying for parking, you're actually being taken to a fake website that steals your payment details. And then on top of it, you get a parking ticket waiting for you when you get back to your car. If you're lucky, it's not towed. But yeah, so you have to be careful with these QR codes that you scan in public. There were lots of warnings about these QR codes being put on signs and ads and, in this case, parking meters. Again, the idea is they want to steal your payment details that you enter. At least in this type of scam, the parking meter scam. And then another QR code scam to be aware of. Speaking of parking tickets, are these fake parking violation tickets. They're actually on paper and stuck in your windshield by a scammer. Right? We saw multiple reports of this popping up in major cities like Houston and Denver, Miami. Right? But these fake parking violations on actual paper get stuffed into your windshield wiper and left on your car. This is a parking violation. In this example, the QR code is covered by the person's finger, but it has a QR code to scan that takes you to a fake website that steals their payment information. So you think you're paying a parking violation, but you're actually giving your payment details to a scammer. All right, so you find these fake parking violations in your windshield. Don't be so quick to scan that QR code. Make sure you actually got a real ticket and visit the real website, for Houston's parking services. Find out what the real website is. If you suspect that the violation might be real. But be aware it's a scam. We're seeing more and more of this type of scam popping up in major cities. So don't fall for it, and be careful. Scan those QR codes. A lot of scammers are bringing new life to their old traditional scams, like ones that they would print out on paper and send out in letters and postcards. And now they're able to upgrade them with QR codes. So it's kind of brought new life into the old scams. So watch out for those. And we're about ready to take our quick first 5-minute break in a few minutes here. But if you're just joining, still time to stick around. We'll be going to about 8:45, so we got about at least another hour and a half left there. We're about halfway through the live stream, but we still have lots of good scam examples to share with you so you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones, from becoming a victim. We're going to take our quick coffee break. But after the next coffee break, we're going to talk about some undeliverable package scams, important to be aware of during the holiday, with all those packages being sent around. We're going to talk about fake retail website scams. We're going to talk about grandparent scams, fake order scams, all common scams to be aware of, and quite a few of them, especially during the holidays. And then we're going to spend a few minutes talking about snail mail scams after that. So lots of good stuff still coming up. So hit that like button, follow, subscribe. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're watching. I want to hear your stories. All right, get the theme song playing for our quick 5-minute coffee break. We're going to get our Scamware 101 coffee mug refilled here. Available on our YouTube channel. Make sure to pick up some merch. Make great Christmas gifts. They make great gifts during the holidays. Christmas, Hanukkah, whoever. Give it to that relative that keeps on getting scammed. All useful stuff. Water bottles, coffee mugs, stickers, mouse pads. Things that would stay on your desk reminding you. Don't fall for those scams. All right. All right, everybody. I'm going to go refill this coffee mug. I'm going to play our theme song for you real quick while we're waiting. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Make sure to hit that like button. Let us know you're watching. And we'll be back shortly.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer with truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pick butchering scams, fat wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scamware 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping. Snatch your cash that you book in despair. Stay woke, my people, man, these crooks don't care. Wrong number text, they pretend they know you. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send the bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or else they're taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears or sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send the bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or else they're taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link. fears display. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears, they'll sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
Sorry, gotta make a bloopers reel, Dave. Good idea. All right, got the coffee mug refilled. Gonna stay caffeinated for you all. We're gonna go for about another hour and a half. It's about 8:45 here, so we got lots of good scams still coming up for you all. If you're just joining, hit that thumbs up button, give us a like, say hello in the chat, in the comments, let us know you're watching. We're on Instagram and YouTube, streaming live, sharing scam examples and warning you about scam trends to stay aware of. If you caught the theme song, shout out to Dave for creating that. All right. We're going to keep it moving here. This next scam we're going to talk about is another one important to be aware of, especially during the holidays. We'll be seeing this one picking up again, December, January, is the undeliverable package scams. This is when victims receive fake notifications about an undeliverable package and are asked to click a link to resolve. The link opens a fake website impersonating UPS, FedEx, or USPS. Any personal or financial details provided by the victim are stolen by the scammers. There never was a package. Right, so we see these undeliverable package scams. They definitely pick up more during the holidays because so many packages are being sent and received, right? So people are more likely to think, oh, there's a package for me, and they click a link. But what's important to recognize is delivery services like UPS, FedEx, DHL, all these delivery services, USPS, right? They don't send text messages like these, right? You just get a random text message about a package. It's a scam. You're not going to get random text messages like these. That's not what these delivery services do. You know, the only time you should be getting text messages from these delivery services is if you actually go and request updates on a specific package, you know, in advance. You're not just going to get some random text messages telling you a package can't be delivered, right? So you get some kind of notification telling you have an undelivered package, you need to update information. Don't trust it. It's a scam. It's 100% a scam. Don't click on the link. All right, and I'm going to show you some examples of what these text messages might look like. UPS Ground, reschedule your shipment delivery. We attempted to deliver your UPS package on June 23rd. Got a grammar mistake there, 23th instead of third. But yeah, we were unable to contact you and delivery could not be completed. Your package needs to be signed in person, so please reschedule delivery by doing the following. And it's got the link to the fake website. They try to make it look legit by including UPS in the fake website name, right? But still a scam, it still takes you to a different website. All right, and they're going to steal whatever information you provide to them. Another example from USPS. Due to invalid address, you have a package that needs to be delivered, but it has been suspended due to incorrect delivery address. If you do not update your address before 24 hours, your package will be returned to sender. To delivery, and then spelling your package, please update your address by clicking the link below. Look, so the first couple examples, they have some grammar and spelling mistakes, right? Which those are always a red flag. You see grammar and spelling mistakes, you know, it's definitely an indicator. It's a scam. It's not legit. But unfortunately, because of AI, a lot of the more recent versions of this scam, they're not going to have spelling errors and grammar mistakes because they're going to use AI to just generate them. It's going to sound very realistic. It's going to sound very professional. So even though these few first examples had spelling mistakes. You can't always count on that. All right. The USPS package has arrived at the warehouse and cannot be delivered due to incomplete address information. Please confirm the address in the link within 12 hours. The link to the fake website. Here's a group text message that was named. It was renamed to USPS. So when you get the message, it looks like, hey, it's titled USPS. But that's just a tactic the scammer uses. All right, since the package does not have a house number, the package transportation is interrupted. Please update. It's a scam. Don't do it. All right, sometimes they'll come with an attachment. And this looks pretty legit, right? It has the USPS logo. Dear customer, your package has arrived at the distribution facility, but we are unable to deliver it due to incomplete address information. Please click on HTML file above to update your address. And look, this is another example of you should never open an attachment from an unexpected source, an unsolicited email or text message that you weren't expecting. Right? Because these attachments, best case, they take it to a fake website that steals your information. Worst case, they'll install malware on your device, encrypt your files, give scammers access. You never want to open an attachment they weren't expecting from an unsolicited source. All right, and look, again, these delivery services, USPS, they will not be sending text messages or emails that look like this. All right, so if you get some kind of notification, text message like this, it's a scam. Don't trust it. And again, keep this one in mind, during the holidays. Make sure your loved ones are aware of this too, especially if they're traveling. I'm sorry. Got mixed up with the unpaid roll, but add that to the blooper reel. Now make sure your loved ones are aware of this, during the holidays, especially because they think you're sending them a package or something and they don't realize it and they end up going to a scam website. We have a couple videos about this scam too. We actually released 2 different ones last year. One warned about the text message and version of this scam. The other one warned about the email version of the scam. So we have 2 videos out specifically about these undeliverable package scams and FedEx and UPS impersonation scams. It's a very popular scam last year, and we're seeing reports picking up again about this one. This next scam we're going to talk about is fake retail website scams. Scammers create fake websites to sell products that are never delivered. Victims are lured in by unbeatable deals and lose money once they pay. All right, so these scammers, they often take advantage of holiday shoppers and those that are seeking trending items. All right, so these fake retail websites, again, important to be aware of all year long, but because of the holidays, they always pick up. Right, there's always these fake websites, these fake retail websites that are offering these Black Friday deals and special holiday offers, and they know it's a prime time of year to scam people and trick people, right? Steal their money and sell them things that don't exist. Steal their payment details, their billing information. And the person might not even realize they've been scammed. They don't realize they've been scammed until the item never arrives, weeks later. And they think to themselves, wait a minute, and all that time, the scammer has the billing information and the address and personal information of the victim. So let's take a look at some fake retail websites. These are actually from last year, November last year. And this first one, you see these wireless headphones. They're offering these wireless headphones that are supposedly worth $175 and just pay shipping, $8.95. And you'll notice at the top it has this Black Friday banner across the top. Now available free. All right, if something sounds too good to be true, you'll be suspicious. It probably is. There's another example from that same scam. This one offers a portable heater. Again, valued at $175, but just pay shipping, $8.69. Again, it's a scam. Right? They put this Black Friday banner across the top, and they're taking advantage of the holidays. Again, these examples are from last year, so these same examples are probably up, being used this year too. Another example. This one's offering those wireless earbuds. Get them for $8.69 shipping. Save $175 just pay shipping. But it's a scam. It's a too good to be true offer, and they're trying to trick you into entering your payment details or shipping information. Right, so these are all examples of fake retail websites. And look, you can land on these fake retail websites in many different ways. A scammer on Facebook could have, or other social media, could have purchased an ad, right, that says free earbuds. Click here, just pay shipping, right? But scammers could buy ads just like anybody else, right? So those could direct you to fake websites. Search engine results, right? Maybe you're searching for wireless earbuds, right? Well, a scammer could have purchased a search engine listing on Google, right? And you don't realize it, but the first listing says, hey, wireless earbuds, get them free. And you don't realize, but a scammer purchased that listing, right? Email, right? You get an email, it's a special offer, valued customer discount, Black Friday sale, get your free earbuds, all right? But it's a scam. They got emailed about, because scammers love using email, right? We all get thousands of junk emails, right? So those are all different ways that you get directed to these fake retail websites. So it's important to be, if you're going to spend if you're going to enter your payment details into a website, make sure it's legit, or at least appears to be legit. See if there's reviews, see if anybody else has used them before. And in the case of these examples that I'm sharing, they were all such new websites that there was no reviews on them yet. They didn't even show up in search engine results yet. So they weren't even listed yet. And they were put up specifically for the purpose of scamming people out of their payment details. There was no home page on each of these domains. It only the product pages existed. They were put up for Black Friday. They disappeared within a matter of days, and then went away for the year. And they're probably up again right now. So be aware of these types of scams, especially during the holidays. Don't fall for them. Be careful where you buy those Labubus at. I know you're collecting them Labubus. Is Johnny still on? Johnny collects Labubus. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat or not, but so if anybody wants any information about Labubus, they can ask John. He's a big collector. He knows all the best places to get them and where to get all the rare Labubus. Now, don't fall for these fake retail website scams, especially for Labubus. Just reach out to Johnny. He'll hook you up with them Labubus. So I'm just having fun, everybody. Having fun. We're way ahead of schedule here, so this is all good. Let's see. So that was fake retail website scams. We got quite a few more scams we're going to be talking about. If you're just joining, hit that like button. Let us know you're watching. Join our free mailing list on scamware101.com. Hit join mailing list. Our mission here is to spread awareness of scams, trying to do something good, get the word out there. We're targeted all day long by these scams, whether it's through emails or phone calls, text messages. And, awareness is key. Too many people lose their life savings, their retirement funds, everything they have just by making a mistake. And it shouldn't be that way. But sadly, you hear these terrible stories about the scammers. They don't care if you're a veteran, they don't care if you're disabled, they don't care if you're a senior citizen on a fixed income. They'll take everything you have. It does not matter. They're ruthless, right? And once they have those funds, most of these victims, they're never able to recover them, sadly. So really, awareness is key, and stopping it before it happens is really the only guaranteed way to really keep your money and funds safe, right? Recognizing these scams, not engaging with a scammer, knowing how to spot them and not interact and fall for their tricks, right? So that's why we do this, to spread awareness. We have videos out there. We just live stream once a week. We have the mailing list going. So make sure to join that free mailing list, scamware101.com. Follow us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. And hey, we're open for other collaboration ideas too. So other scam awareness, personalities out there, the scam baiters that are scamming the scammers. We want to collaborate or team up. Hit me up, reach out, and we could do something to work together too. Get awareness out, right? It takes a village, it takes a community to get this information out there. And with that said, we're gonna keep on cranking forward here. And the next scam we're gonna talk about is actually grandparent scams. And this is one of those heinous scams. Heinous, I call them. They're terrible scams. It's called a grandparent scam because it targets grandparents. It really does. It targets the older folks out there, and it takes advantage of the fact that they have children and grandchildren. It uses their grandchildren and children as bait. The grandparents think that their loved ones are in trouble. They think that their daughter, their grandson, their grandchild, their child needs help. Right? The scammer tricks the grandparent or the parent. It tricks them into thinking that their child or grandchild needs help. They've been in an accident. They're locked up, at the county jail because of the accident, right? And they need assistance. They need urgent assistance. They need help. It could be a scary situation. You get a phone call like that, about your child, all right? And scammers know that, and they take advantage, right? So you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't know if it was my child calling me. I don't know if it was a scam or not. But we have a video here, which is, I think it's compelling. The video we're going to share in a moment. But, let me describe what a grandparent scam is. I don't think I described it right. So scammers impersonate a distressed relative, claiming they have been arrested and needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers will often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. And that part's important, right? Because what happens is the scammers, they'll keep on impersonating different departments and different agencies, and each one will say, oh, now you need to pay this. And then next one will say, now you need to pay this. First, they'll impersonate lawyers and say you need to pay this. And they'll impersonate law enforcement and say you need to pay this. And they'll impersonate court personnel and say you need to pay this. And they'll just keep on going down the list and keep going until your grandparent has no money left. They paid everything, to these scammers, thinking that they were doing it for you, right? Speaking to the grandchildren and children out there, right? And if you're the grandparent in this situation, be aware of it. Don't jump so quick right away if you get a phone call like this, telling you a loved one needs assistance, right? And the scammer, what they do is first they'll impersonate your loved one for about 20 seconds. They'll impersonate your loved one in distress, and that's what we're going to watch in a minute here. All right, so this scammer, this video right here that I'm going to play for you is of a grandparent scammer. And he was located in Dominican Republic, and he's known as the opener. And what he does is he reaches out to the victim initially, and he impersonates the loved one, and then he impersonates a police officer. For 20 seconds, he impersonates a distressed loved one, and then for the rest of the call, he impersonates a police officer explaining what's going on. Right? The scammer that obtained this footage, his YouTube handle, or the scam baiter, the person that posted this footage, not the scammer, the guy that actually was able to infiltrate the scammer system and record the scammer doing this, the good guy, his YouTube channel. You can check it out. The full video that he posted, this full video, is at Scam Sandwich. Right, so that's the handle of the good guy, the scam baiter that was actually able to get this footage of this scammer. And what he did is he was able to hack into the scammer's computer and record this on his webcam. So the full video, again, is available over on his YouTube channel at Scam Sandwich, right? And the full video is great. He confronts the scammer. He records so much more. There's so much more context to the video. But for our purposes, I just want to show you a short clip of that video that it just shows how the grandparent scam is initially performed by the scammer. And it kind of gives you a good idea and more of an understanding of how so many people could fall for this. Like, how could somebody fall for somebody impersonating a loved one? Well, once you see this scammer do it, maybe it'll make more sense. Right, so let's watch, and then we'll talk about the video afterwards.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, We actually confiscating her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next
Right, so that was a peek about how these scammers perform this scam. And did you notice for the first 30 seconds or first 20 seconds, he's impersonating a loved one. And it's just really quick. It's just in a very distressed fashion. Honestly, it could sound like anybody's loved one. He's just like, Mom, I've been in an accident. Right, and also something to notice, when the scammer says, Mom, I've been in an accident, what happens is the victim actually replies back and says her daughter's name. She goes, Linda? And then the scammer goes, yeah, it's Linda. Right here, watch, let's listen. It's just the first way it opens.
Oh,
Mom, I had a car accident.
huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Right, so she actually gave away her daughter's name if the scammer didn't know it already. But that's all part of the trick. You know, these scammers know what they're doing. They know what to say. And they're able to pull information out of the victim without them even realizing they're giving it away. Right? You know, they'll say, like, I don't even know how they knew my daughter's name. Well, you didn't realize it. You gave it to them. Right? So, anyway, I can see how someone could fall for this after watching that video. You know, it's only a loved one. They're very distressed within 20 seconds. It could be anybody's loved one distressed. You know, who sounds normal when they're crying and freaking out over the phone? Right, and then it immediately switch over to this police officer who goes into this terrible, scary story about, you know, the situation that your daughter's in, right, and you need to stand by, and they're gonna be reaching out to you soon, okay, you know. So now the mother, grandmother's all worried, right, and now what's gonna happen is a scammer known as a closer, they're gonna take over, right. So the guy we just watched, he's known as an opener, right. He does the initial reaching out to the victim. Right, but then the closers. Now the closers are going to start calling the victim back and saying, okay, I'm calling from the defense attorney's office. Now I'm calling from the police station. And now I'm calling from the court. And each one's going to say, you need to pay us money for this. Now you need to pay money for this. And, you know, for your loved one to be released, you have to pay this. And they're going to bleed the victim dry as far as money goes. You know, they'll think of some new fee and amount that needs to be paid until the victim has nothing left. Right, so that's how a grandparent scam works, and that's a fascinating peek at that video of what goes on behind the scenes. You know, on this slide here, we include some news clips from an article, a federal court case that mentions this scam that was going on in the Dominican Republic. I don't know if it includes this guy, if he was part of the group or not, but it described exactly what was going on to the T and what this guy was participating in. So, but anyway, watch out for these grandparent scams. Make sure if you're the grandparent or parent in this situation, you know, be aware that scammers are doing this. You know, don't be pressured to make an immediate payment or take immediate action. Right? You get a call like this. Pause. Take a breath. Okay, where are you calling from? What police station? What, you know, how can I reach you back? They probably won't even tell you a way to reach you back. They'll tell you, we'll call you. They'll give you a reason why they can't tell you. They'll make up all these excuses. It just won't be right. Right? Let's say they do give you the name of a police station. Well, now before you do anything, okay, hang up. Reach out through official channels. Call a police station directly. You know, reach out through official channels. But don't trust anything that some unsolicited phone call like this tells you. All right. So they would let the person talk for more than 20 seconds too. They wouldn't tear them off the phone like that. So don't fall for it. You know, hang up, reach out to the loved one that supposedly this is happening to, right? Notice how in the video, part of the narrative, part of the script is they say, we've confiscated her phone, so don't try calling her. But that's all just to subliminally try to stop the victim from trying to call their loved one. You know, if that victim hangs up the phone and then tries to call, chances are their daughter's going to answer, say, I'm fine, I'm not in jail. What's going on? Right? So, but this is all part of the mind game that they play and the script that they use. You know, it takes advantage of those psychological tricks. So, anyway, after seeing that video, it did make me a little bit more, I always have, you know, compassion for the victims, but after seeing that video, it gave me more of an understanding of how someone could fall for that. Well, it's very easy to be like, I don't know how someone could fall for that. I would know if it was my daughter or loved one calling me. Yeah. But would you really? You know? Anyway, there's a grandparent scam. Be aware of it. Make sure your loved ones are aware of it. There was a different version of that actually being reported recently that targeted the parents of college students. And it was a similar narrative, but it said that it was campus police and your child has been in an accident or been in trouble for, is locked up, on campus or at the local jail, right? They go into a similar narrative, except it's targeting the parents of college kids, right? So be aware of that either way. Grandparents, parents. Don't be so quick to start making payments, withdrawing money, confirm what's going on, verify through official channels, So let's see. B Trillion, good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Says it's tough not to fall for this if you have ADD. Yeah, the grandparent scams are, a lot of scams, maybe. But it's important. You got to keep that guard up. You got to keep the guard up and just be suspicious. Really, there's like 3 specific guidelines I recommend to people that they always need to remember. 1, always remember and always suspect that any unsolicited phone call is a scam. Right? It doesn't matter who's calling. It doesn't matter who it says they are. It doesn't matter what the caller ID says, right? Because the caller ID, these scammers, they'll show, like in this case, they could show the police department's phone number on the caller ID. Scammers know how to do that. They could spoof and manipulate caller ID, right? Whether impersonating your bank or impersonating the local police department, they can make that number show on caller ID, and we know that they do. So by a general rule of thumb, is that any unsolicited phone call you have to assume is a scammer until you verify it through official sources. And you have to verify it by hanging up. Because it doesn't matter what these scammers say to you and what they know about you. It could be a scammer. They can know these things about you. It doesn't matter what they say, right? You have to hang up and then verify through official channels, right? You're calling from this police department. Okay, I'll call back. Hang up. Call the police department directly. Look up the official phone number. Call directly, right? You always have to verify that. You have to verify the situation through official channels. You can't just take it at the initial phone call, face value, for example, the initial phone call. Because it could be anybody. They might know things about you and they could be very convincing. But unless you hang up and then call the official phone number to verify, can't trust it. Right? So that's a major guideline to remember. I said there were 3, but I'm not going to go into 3. I'll start rambling too long. The other one, well, I will mention. I mentioned another one. Knowing what not to do, right, is how you avoid being tricked by scammers. Right. So knowing, not to stay on the phone, right, is how you avoid being tricked. They're gonna try to keep you on the phone, but not to. You're not gonna trick me to stand on the phone. I need to hang up and verify. All right. So you know what not to do. By extension, you know what to do then, right? But anyway, I don't want to get too into that. We have that whole series, actually. You could check out those concepts. We have a training series over on our YouTube channel we just added, a YouTube class. About a week or 2 ago we added that. I think, Katie, you were checking it out. If you're still here. I don't know if you're still here. But I know you mentioned checking out those videos. And, we mentioned those key concepts about knowing what not to do, right? And you have to assume that anybody calling is a scammer until you confirm and verify otherwise. So check out those videos. Let's see. B Trillion says, I have a case open with the sheriff's office, but since the scammers are in Nigeria, they have no... Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I mentioned that a lot on this live stream, and as a reason why awareness is so important, because finding out after the fact, right, you don't have second chances, right? You don't have a second chance to learn, because after the fact it's too late. The funds are gone. So that's why in the case of scams, really awareness is key, right? Just kind of taking the time to hop onto these live streams and check out videos and just kind of keep yourself up to date about what's going on. It's not worth the risk, right? Because you could lose everything just by one mistake. And that's why we do this live stream. I would love to hear. So, I would love to hear more about your story. If you want to reach out to me separately, you could shoot me an email. Yeah, you can check out on scamaware101.com on the contact page if you want to send me an email. You know, I'd love to hear more about your story if you want to share some details or maybe make a video about it. But yeah. Every now and then you'll hear about a situation where the authorities and the bank and like they were notified like super fast within a matter of hours, and they were able to stop some of the funds. Sometimes you hear stories where they were able to partially get some of the funds, but it was because it was so quick. Like they were able to, but a lot of times it's not all the funds. A lot of times they're just able to stop a portion of it, and if they're lucky. But even those cases are rare. Most times it's very hard to get anything back, and it's for the reasons you mentioned, right? There's no jurisdiction. And by the way, so B Trillion is mentioning, he's got a case open, but the scammers are in Nigeria, so there's no jurisdiction. How are you going to get, how are you going to compel anything to happen, right? So and you hear a lot about Nigeria and the other places, right? In Myanmar, right? All Asia along those borders of Thailand, right? Because there's a government out there where it's kind of lawless, right? Nobody's gonna do anything out there, so that's why there's a lot of scam compounds out there too. Yeah, but thanks for sharing your story. Again, I'd love to hear more. So if you want to reach out, help get the word out there, and you can find the contact info on scamware101.com. And this next scam we're going to talk about, let me get the slides open here. Betrayed says he says I'm like an involuntary philanthropist. You know what? It's important. It takes a village to get this information out there. I'm just doing this right now. I've just been doing this for the past year, like just paying out of pocket, trying to get, set up the website, spend the time doing this. I've just been kind of doing this to get the word out because I've been in cybersecurity, the IT industry, technology for over 25 years now. That's been my career and what I've been involved in. So I've seen these scammers and in the case they're targeting businesses in most cases, but I've seen the same scams and the same tricks being used, right? And in business case, a lot of times they have cybersecurity insurance and recovery systems in place, and they can recover from these scams. But individuals, right? There's not a lot of resources out there for individuals, right? So who's watching out for the grandparents that we just mentioned in the grandparent scams, right? Or those undeliverable package scams, or fake retail website scams, or the other scams we're about ready to talk about fake orders. There's so many scams that target individuals, right? And nobody's really watching out for them. It's important to get the information out there because individuals don't have cybersecurity, like we just said. When the funds get taken, they're gone, they're lost. There's no cybersecurity company so like, oh, you're covered. So individuals are getting impacted by this the worst. And I've just heard too many horror stories. So I'm just trying to take my knowledge from dealing with this stuff for 25 years, on the business and trying to put something out there for the past year that is meant to help individuals, right? And that's the whole point. That's why I started scamware101.com. I started just over a year ago now. And it's been pretty much just me trying to get everything out there, doing the live streams. I'm trying to expand though. I'm trying to collaborate more, make some connections, and get things going a little bit more. But anyway, yeah. Yep. It's like being an involuntary philanthropist. It takes a village, right? Because you're up against an army. We're up against hundreds and hundreds of scammers and organized crime, right? There's scam compounds out there run by organized crime, forcing people to do scams. So, we're up against literally armies of scammers and criminals. So we try to do our part by just mentioning word of mouth and putting info out there. And honestly, it barely puts a dent. It barely puts a dent in it, but if it helps somebody, right, it helps them. You mentioned the don't fall for recovery companies. That's a great tip too. I have a video that I've been working on. It's on the list. I started it, but it's about those recovery scams, especially it's wild because on Facebook, right? I think I searched one time for recovery services on Facebook just out of curiosity. And after I did that search, I got targeted with so many fake recovery scams on Facebook, just on my feed constantly. It's like recover your stolen funds, recover your stolen crypto, recover your stolen, but they're follow up scams, right? They're just they're scams. They're just trying to scam you again. So yeah, definitely watch out for those recovery scams. And a lot of times, if you get scammed, sometimes you get added to something called a suckers list, right? They put your contact info on a suckers list because they figure, okay, you've been scammed once, and now they'll sell your information to other scammers who think that you're a valuable target, right? Well, he fell for it once, we're going to try to scam him again. So not only do you have to watch out for recovery scams, you have to watch out for just follow-up scams and being targeted more in general, right? So B-Trillion saying they'll take $3,000 up front and generate a trace report, but no commitment from them. Right. You know, there's no recovery service that could actually make a guarantee or commitment. So, like, it's just, you know, expect to lose whatever you pay for someone like that. All right. You're just going to lose even more money. Your best bet is to reach out through official channels as soon as possible. Like if you're tricked into sending cryptocurrency, immediately you want to contact that cryptocurrency exchange or the ATM they put the money into, or the local police that can access that ATM and pull the cash out by reacting super quick, like within less than 24 hours. But if you notify the right people quick enough, sometimes they could halt a transaction from happening or recover the money before it's taken, even though technically the crypto is transferred, or sometimes the exchange sometimes will have a hold for a couple hours. But after a few hours, if you don't notify the right people, like if you don't realize you've been scammed, it's the longer you go without notifying the right people, less likely it's going to be to recover it. That's unfortunate. Sometimes smaller amounts. I say smaller because people lose their life savings, hundreds of thousands of dollars people lose, their entire retirement fund, life savings, right? But smaller amounts, like in a couple $1,000 range, right? Like if you fall for a Zelle scam where maybe you transferred $3,000 through Zelle, right? In those cases, sometimes I hear what happens is you get the media involved. And the media, they contact the bank and they're like, hey, this veteran or this retired senior lost $3,100 to a scammer and you people are refusing to help her. And sometimes that pressure, the bank will be like, okay, fine, we'll take care of it. But a lot of times when you hear about that, it took months leading up to that. They ignored the person for months until the media finally was like, hey, this person's a veteran and you won't refund them their $4,000 they were scammed. So, but yeah. Let's see. B-Trillion saying he made reports to IC3 and SEC. The FBI does not reach out to you using a Gmail address. Using a Gmail address. That's a good tip. A red flag if they claim to be with the FBI, but it's a Gmail address. Don't trust it. That's a good tip, B-Trillion. Yeah, I mean, it's good you made the reports, right? Sometimes you hear about these crypto scams or crypto groups getting broken up and they recover some crypto, but I don't imagine it just suddenly gets divided up and returned back to the victims, right? I think the government just ends up keeping it somehow. Maybe years later after like lawsuits and stuff, some gets returned to victims, but I'm pretty sure government ends up being like, we recovered it, finders keepers. Yeah, it's rough. The gift cards, that's why they try to get people to purchase gift cards, because once you send them a picture of the gift card, they just clear out the funds. You're not getting those back. So this next scam we're going to talk about here. Oh, yeah, good stuff, Patron. Thanks for sharing this good stuff. Well, I mean, not good that happened to you, but thank you for sharing, and I always appreciate hearing someone's experience, and so we can warn others and being open about it too, right? I always thank the victims that share their stories and they're open about them, because it helps other people. It helps us recognize the red flags and how to avoid the same thing happening to us. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Anybody could fall for these scams. Anybody. Somebody could just be having an off day. Maybe you're a little extra tired one day, or you're in a rush and you real quick click a link that you weren't thinking, wait a minute, that could have been a scam. You know, it could happen to anybody. And these scammers are good. These scammers are good as in they do this for a living. They have scripts that they read, and these scripts are specialized. They're worse than any trained sales, trained shady salesperson. But anyway, so this next scam we're going to talk about here, fake order scams. And look, this one's important to be aware of because we're being targeted by this scam with phone calls, phone call recordings. We're being targeted with text messages. We're being targeted with emails, right? And they're all these various versions of fake order scams. And basically what they are is victims receive a fake notification that an order was made under their account. Then it instructs the victim to call the number to dispute the order. Right? When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, they don't realize it, but they're actually being connected to a scammer. They think they're talking to Apple or Amazon, to dispute an order, but they're actually talking to a scammer. Right? And then the scammer eventually goes into a narrative about someone stole your identity, your money's not safe, we need you to transfer your funds, or they'll try to access your device and they'll get more information about what funds you have in your bank account. It's all downhill from there, right? And it all starts with a fake order notification. And we're going to spend a few minutes talking about this. And I have some excellent examples of these fake order notifications to share with you to keep in mind, right? And the first example we share with you right here is a text message version. This one was an extremely common text message scam that was going out over the past few months. And we still see reports, very similar reports to this message today. And basically the text message says, Apple approval notice. We have noticed that your Apple iCloud ID was recently used at Apple Store for $143 paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization. And then it goes to say about suspicious sign-in activity in order to maintain the security of your account. If it's not you, call this number immediately to cancel the charge. Right? So you get this text message saying that $143 was charged to your account. If this wasn't you, call the number immediately. So someone might think to themselves, I didn't make that charge, $143. I got to call this number. They think they're calling Apple. They're actually calling a scammer. Right? And then the scammer goes into their whole narrative. Somebody's got your identity. Let's confirm your banking account details or transfer your money out. Right? And, it all starts with that fake order scam. And the thing that's tricky about these fake order scams is they can impersonate any manufacturer, any vendor. They could say any item was purchased or any charge occurred. Right? Because the whole idea is they just want the person to call that number and say, hey, I'm calling to dispute this charge. I didn't make that purchase. So that's a text message example, right? But I actually have some recordings of phone calls, 2 robocalls I'm going to play for you that are actively circulating, and they're part of a fake order scam. Right. So this first example I'm going to play for you, it impersonates Amazon, and it claims a MacBook Pro was purchased under your account for, I think it says $1,400, right? So, and then to dispute it, it says press 1 or call this number, I think. it says press 1. But the whole point is you get this phone call. It says there's been a $1,400 charge to your account. Oh, it's not you? This is how you dispute it, right? Well, you press 1 or call the number, you get connected to a scammer. But let me play this recording for you. And multiple people reported this call to me too. So be aware of this one. It's actively circulating.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
Right, so the idea is you were supposed to pick up the phone when that call was coming. The message says there's been a $1,400 charge in your account for a MacBook Pro. Oh, it's not you? Press 1 to dispute the charge. Right? If you press 1, you're going to get connected to a scammer. Right? The scammer is going to impersonate, Amazon, but it's a scammer. All right? So don't fall for that fake order scam, that phone call version of fake order scam. And we got a second recording we're going to play for you now too. Dave, you the man. $7 super thanks or super chat. I'm not sure which one it's called, but oh man, hey, I appreciate you so much, man. Every couple weeks or so, you end up donating a few bucks. I always appreciate it. Everything helps. Even just having the extra viewer here and always counting on you. You're the man, Dave. I appreciate you. Definitely. Thank you so much. And for anybody else, we got super thanks enabled too. You could donate a few bucks if you want. We always appreciate it. We have some memberships enabled for monthly memberships as a way to donate. And we have some merch too. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel. our YouTube store for some merch. You know, these Scamware 101 coffee mugs, and we have some stickers and water bottles and some other items up there. They make great gifts. All helpful ways you can support our mission here. But again, thank you so much, Dave. I know you've already got the cups and the stickers, and you've been supporting us since the beginning all the way. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you again. Always appreciated. This next example too, a fake order scam. This phone call, right? It's very similar. This one impersonates Walmart, and it claims that a PlayStation was purchased. Right? And the idea is very similar. They want you to press 1 and get connected to a scammer. You'll think you're disputing, an order or a purchase, but it's actually all fake, and it's a trick to get you talking to a scammer. All right, so let's listen to this second example of a fake order scam phone call.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
By the way, notice how that recording ends with or return our call on same number at earliest convenience. Right, that's always a red flag. When they don't leave a real phone number to call and they just want you to call the number that's displayed or shown on your caller ID, that's a big red flag. It's a scam, right? But anyway, that was another example of a fake order scam phone call. In that case, they're claiming a PlayStation was purchased under your Walmart account, right? And the idea is they want you to press 1 and you'll be connected to a scammer. You think you're disputing a $400-something charge, right? What did it say it was, $400? I don't know. Let's see. Let's listen to it again. I always forget how much to say it was. Let's see.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.
$859. It's only twice as much as I thought they said. Right? So you get a phone call saying that you're being charged $859. Oh, it's not you? Press 1. Someone might be like, what? $859? And quick to press 1. It might even occur to them, wait a minute, is this a scam? Is this a trick? So watch out for these fake order scams. That's what I meant by we're being targeted from all directions. I showed you a text message version of this scam. I played you 2 phone call versions of this scam. But I also have a victim's report, or an article, at least, about a victim who fell for the email version of this scam. All right, so let's read what that says. And this was from last year, late last year in August, but still applies to today. And the article says, a 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. The scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase and was told she had multiple accounts. So I'm going to stop right there real quick and then we'll continue, right? So that's the fake order notification scam. Right? In her case, she received an email. It says, hey, you purchased an iPhone. It says, not you. Call this number to dispute it. Right? And then she calls the number to dispute it. She probably thinks that she was calling Apple. Right? So she gets the fake order notification. She calls the number to dispute it. She thinks she's talking to Apple. And that's the fake order scam. Now, this is when it goes into that whole next phase of the scam. They go into their narrative. Usually, they'll say something about your identity's been stolen. Someone has access to your accounts. And it could vary from this point on. But the point is, the way the fake order scam works is you get notified about an order and you're tricked into calling a scammer. Okay. But let's read the rest of this, the remaining paragraph, because it's actually fascinating, though, hearing the details of what happens next in her case. Right. So she calls up. She thinks she's talking to Apple support. She's actually talking to scammers. And she's told someone is using her identity. Right. And then the scammers connect her to a person posing as a CIA agent, right? This might have been the same scammer just doing another voice, or it could have been a different scammer that, the opener transfers to. Just like the grandparent scam, how we showed the opener and then how he transfers to closers to finish the scam. So anyway, she's connected to a scammer posing as a CIA agent who instructs her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. The next day, she's directed to use the money to purchase Walmart gift cards and send photos and receipts. Additionally, the woman sent another $500 gift card to the scammers. Right? So, look, red flags all over that story. Well, not necessarily all over, but there's red flags there. Especially the mention of the gift cards. When we were talking about red flags earlier, we mentioned gift cards, cryptocurrency. You have to be aware that scammers love receiving gift cards, right? They love receiving Bitcoin and cryptocurrency at a Bitcoin ATM, right? So when you hear these forms of payment come up, it needs to trigger a red flag. Like, why are they asking for Bitcoin? Like, why not a credit card? Why not a check? Why are they asking for Bitcoin? It's kind of unusual. Same thing, gift cards. In her case, it was gift cards. And telling her to purchase multiple ones. She sent $4,100, so that means she must have purchased, I don't know where she got the extra 100 from. But in intervals of 500, well, now I got to do math. What is that? 8 cards? $4,000 would be 8 $500 cards, right? Plus an extra $100. I don't know how she got the extra $100 to them, but you get the point. So she's in there purchasing 8 gift cards, for $500, taking pictures, emailing or texting the pictures to a scammer, thinking she's dealing with the CIA, right? At some point, you have to realize, wait, gift cards, and it's a red flag. It's unusual, So be aware of that, and be aware of these fake order scams. To keep in mind about these fake order scams. What's so tricky about it is, again, they claim anything was ordered. They don't even have to tell you what item was ordered. They could just say a charge occurred, right? So the way they pull you in, it could be so random and so unique that you might not have heard of it. So you have to always kind of keep the whole idea of a fake order scam in mind. This way, it doesn't matter who they claim to be. It doesn't matter what was purchased. Just knowing, wait a minute, I was notified about an order, regardless of who they claim to be, regardless of what they say was ordered. Is this a fake order scam? They're telling me to call this number. I'm not going to call the number that they tell me to call. If they're claiming to be Apple, reach out to Apple directly. Check your Apple app, right? But don't call the number that they're telling you to call, right? Same thing with the Amazon example, right? Don't call the number don't press 1. Don't call the number that they tell you to. Instead, check your Amazon account directly or reach out to Amazon directly. Right? That's how you confirm this situation. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier. You have to hang up, right? You have to hang up and verify through official channels. You can't trust anything at face value or the initial phone call anymore, the initial email anymore. You have to go through official channels to verify. Right. And anyway, one more thing I want to point out just about this example, about this fake order scam example is again, it was a 23-year-old woman, right? So it's just another example of how, we a lot of people think it's just the older folks that fall for scams, right? But that's not necessarily true. Again, the FTC report from earlier this year, they released an annual report, and the one from earlier this year, it actually showed that younger folks fall for more scams than older folks. It's just the older folks lose more money to the scammers. They have more money saved up to lose. But the younger folks actually fall for more scams than the older folks. At least that's what that report said. Point is, everybody should stay aware of this. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Everybody's vulnerable to new techniques and tricks used by scammers, right? And awareness is key. So anyway, end rant. So fake order scams. Be aware of them. Phone calls, emails, text messages. Keep your guard up. We're being targeted from all directions. How we all doing out there tonight? Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give me some reactions. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. It really does help. You can follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube. Join our free mailing list on Scamaware 101. So you go to scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. Best way to keep up to date with new content, and we'll send out reminders when we go live. So check out scamaware101.com, hit join mailing list. And we're going to go, let's see, what time is it? 8:10. We're going to go for about another 35 minutes. Because we start at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, right? We try to do this live stream every week, 5:45 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. I try to go for at least 3 hours. Sometimes we go 4, even 5 hours. But today we're going for 3 hours. And we got 35 minutes left. We're going to wrap up around 8:45. But we still have some good stuff in the remaining 30 minutes or so that is left. And we're going to wrap up the live stream. We're going to talk about some snail mail scams. I'm going to show you some actual examples that, because look, scammers, they're still using traditional mail too. That didn't go nowhere. They're still sending out scams directly to your mailbox. Physical letters, physical postcards. So I'm going to show you some examples of those over the next 15 minutes. Then after that, what we're going to do, and I like to always close out the live streams with this final segment, where what we do is we go check the scam tracker map over on the AARP website, right? And we'll see what recent reports are coming in, and see if there's any other scams that we should talk about and address, see if the scams we talked about are still being reported recently and important to be aware of. And it's a fun way to kind of wrap up the live stream, checking out the recent reports and talking about them a little bit. And we usually do that for about 20 minutes or so, too. So some good stuff still coming up here in the live stream. And with that said, we're going to go into some snail mail scams that are important to be aware of. And right now, in this first example, I'm kind of cheating on this first example because I already used it as an example when we talked about barcodes. But I'm going to use it as an example again because it applies in the case of a snail mail scam, right? And that's that postcard offering you a free gift that you receive, right? Whether it's got a QR code on it or not, if you get a postcard or a letter offering you a free gift, be suspicious, right? In this case, it's offering you a free wireless Bluetooth earbuds. It arrives directly to your mailbox. You're holding a postcard in hand. It feels very real. Right, but it's a scam. That doesn't mean you can trust it any more than anything else. Right, so be suspicious about visiting any website it tells you to, scanning any QR code it tells you to. Do some research to see who's actually offering it, and if there's any good reviews about it. If it's too good to be true, be suspicious. A lot of times it is. Right, and in this case, this offer for free wireless earbuds is going to steal your credit card details, your name, address, Amazon account. So watch out for free offers that arrive to your mailbox. Keep your guard up for free offers all over the place, whether it's an email free offer or text message free offer, but for the sake of these snail mail examples and snail mail scams, free offers, be suspicious. Publishers Clearinghouse, you get a letter saying you won Publishers Clearinghouse, be suspicious. That's a common scam. This next scam, snail mail. Hey Dave, add that to the scale mail I just called it. Add that to the blooper reel. Our next scale mail. So our next snail mail scam we're going to talk about is an inheritance scam. And this is a letter, about a year old, still actively circulating. We still see it being reported on the AARP scam tracker. But this letter here, again, it's a physical letter that was received November 29th. It's dated, so it's a little over a year old here. And the letter impersonates a law office. And they're claiming you have an inheritance. You're entitled to an inheritance because one of their clients, who shares the same last name as you, passed away. They say they passed away from COVID 4 years ago. They're saying it's Dr. Maria, and then has the same last name that they addressed the letter to. So whoever's sending out the scam letter, they are paying attention to detail. They're making sure that whoever's the letter is addressed to, they make sure that their deceased client has the same last name, which is, the attention to detail is what fools people, right? So anyway, they're saying because they couldn't find any other relatives, you share the same last name, you're entitled to a $10.8 million inheritance, right? They handle it all for you, and they'll handle it in a professional and confidential manner, right? And they say towards the end, they say this claim requires a high level of confidentiality, right? Which is that red flag we talked about earlier, right? When they try to tell you to keep something secret or confidential, it's a red flag. A lot of times they just don't want you talking to anybody and realizing it's a scam. But there's a real letter that's circulating. It's still circulating recently. We've still seen recent reports. It's important to watch out for. They put realistic looking letterhead on it. They make it sound like it's from a realistic sounding law office. Right? And how the scam works usually is, they're offering you a $10.8 million inheritance, right? And a lot of times how this works is either they're going to steal your personal information, your financial information, right? They're going to have you set up a bank account or provide banking details to them, right? So they're either going to try to do that, right, to steal your financial details, or in a lot of cases what they'll do is they'll say you have to pay fees and taxes on the inheritance first. Once you pay the fees and taxes on a $10.8 million inheritance, right, the scammers run off with that and never give you the inheritance. Figure out how many taxes and fees you have to pay on a $10.8 million inheritance, right? And the scammers made a pretty penny if they scam you out of that. So that's how these inheritance scams typically work. And again, just because you receive a letter in the mail, just like this one, an actual letter that you could hold arriving in your mailbox in front of your house, that doesn't mean that's any more real and can be trusted. A quick Google search of the law office that's listed there, or some sentences included in this letter, right? A quick Google search, it actually returns results of tons of other people reporting the exact same letter, receiving the exact same letter. The only difference is the last name is swapped out to match theirs. All right, so it's a scam, and it's important to take some time to look into something like this if you receive it. You can't just trust it blindly just because it's a letter that you received, right? So watch out for inheritance scams, whether it's a snail mail letter like this or an email that you get, right? If there's a snail mail version of a scam, there's probably an email version, and vice versa. If there's an email version, there's probably a snail mail version. Next scam we're going to talk about here, and we did a video about this scam that's worth checking out later. It's on our YouTube channel. This next scam, technically, is known as a secret survey check scam. Technically, right? But a better sounding name is mystery shopper check scam, because that's what they're referring to. They're referring to mystery shopper scam. It tricks the victim into thinking they're a mystery shopper and into cashing a bad check. And we have a couple examples of this letter that you might receive. And what's interesting about this letter that you receive, and this scam in general, this mystery shopper or secret survey scam, what's interesting about it is included with the letter is a check, an actual physical check. So you get a letter, and falling out of envelope is a check for $2,480. So you're made out to you. Assuming it's made out to you. They have it blanked out. Otherwise, yeah, it has to be. Otherwise, they wouldn't blank out with just a cash. So the check's made out to you too. So there you go. You get a $2,480 check in your hand with your name on it and everything. All right, and you think, okay, what's going on here? All right, so here's what the letter says. Basically, it says, congratulations, you've been selected as a mystery shopper. Here's your first secret survey assignment. The check for $2,480 is to cover the cost of purchasing gift cards from Walgreens or CVS. Right, and that says you keep the extra $450 of your commission. And it instructs you to deposit the checks. So first you deposit the check, right? And then within 12 to 24 hours, and they say it's important to carry out within 12 to 24 hours. It says to then purchase 4 gift cards for $500, right, from CVS or Walgreens, right? So you deposit this $2,400 check, and you're supposed to go purchase 4 gift cards, $500 each, at CVS or Walgreens. The letter says they could be Apple gift cards, Razor Gold gift cards, or Nike gift cards, or Steam Wallet gift cards. Right? They tell you to purchase, $500, $1,000 at each store, they say, but they want you to purchase 4 gift cards in total. All right. And how this scam works is you purchase those first of all, you deposit the check, right? You purchase those gift cards, you take pictures, you provide them to the scammer. The scammer immediately has the funds now, right? And what happens is you're thinking, okay, great, I'm done. You're thinking you got an extra $480, $500 in the bank account now, right? Easy money, boom, right? Well, what happens is a day or two later, you get notified by the bank, oh, that was a bad check. The check gets reversed. The funds disappear from your account. And now that $2,000 that you purchased gift cards with is gone from your account. All right, so now you're $2,000 in the hole. You don't have that $450 commission. It disappears. It was never real, because the check was bad. And on top of that, being $2,000 now gone from your account, on top of that, the bank hits you with a fee for depositing a bad check. Meanwhile, the scammer makes off with $2,000 worth of gift cards that you paid for. All right, so that's how this mystery shopper secret survey scam works. Just because the letter or the envelope contains a check, that doesn't mean it's good and that you can trust it. And the reason this scam works so well is because you could deposit a bad check. And a lot of times, the bank will show those funds, in good faith. They'll give you those funds in real time, right? But what happens is a day or two later, once the bank realizes the check was no good, those funds disappear, right? So it's a red flag if you get an envelope with a check. And it's also a red flag if you get a job offer that you didn't apply for. Suddenly, you've been accepted and selected for this mystery shopper job, but you didn't apply for a mystery shopper job, right? So that's a red flag too. But anyway, that's how these mystery shopper scam works. And this is actually a very common scam. Again, we did a video about this scam. It's on our YouTube channel. And a lot of people left comments, and some of them are recent comments, saying, I got a letter like this the other day, right? And here's a second version, too. We actually have 2 examples of this scam here. And they're very similar, right? Walgreens and CVS. This one's impersonating. The amount of the check is different. In this example, the check was for $1,987. And it's meant to purchase 3 gift cards for $500 each. So you're supposed to purchase $1,500 as a secret shopper, and you keep the extra $400 or so as your commission, right? But same idea, though. It includes a check. They tell you to deposit it, purchase the gift cards, keep the commission. A day or 2 later, check bounces, money's gone, gift cards are gone, and you got scammed. All right. And what's interesting about this example of a scam, again, it impersonates Walgreens and CVS, but unlike the other letter that I showed you, this scammer just wants Apple gift cards. Right. The other example here, right? They were willing to take Apple, Razer, Nike, and Steam wallet gift cards, right? But this scammer, he only wants Apple gift cards. However, the other letter only says to go to CVS and Walgreens, where this scammer, he doesn't mind where you get the gift cards from. He actually puts a list here. You go to Walgreens, Best Buy, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Family Dollar, Meijer, Kroger, Safeway, Dollar General, Walmart, Speedway, Albertsons. This scammer doesn't care. As long as you're purchasing Apple gift cards and you're going to send them to him, he doesn't care where you get them from. But anyway, again, the point is, a day or 2, that check bounces, you're stuck holding the bag, you lose those funds, they're gone, and you get hit with that fee for a bad check. If you didn't have the funds in your account, you get hit with another fee for overdrafting your account. So the bank just brutalizes you on top of the scammer and the bad check. All right, so this scam could be a little rough if you fall for it. Anyway, interesting scam. Check out the video we did about it. We go into a little bit more detail about that one, the mystery shopper scam, with a video on our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. And that's actually the final scam on our list of specific scams that we're going to talk about this evening. And we covered, I think, 21 total scams, I believe, is the scams that we talked about this evening. And again, we started at 5:45, so about 2.5 hours ago. We're nearing the end of the live stream, but we still have some fun stuff coming up over the next 20 minutes or so. So don't go nowhere. But yeah, we just finished covering 21 different types of common scams that are all active, all circulating, targeting individuals as we speak, right? Trying to trick and find new victims over the phone and through email and text messaging, even through mailing letters through traditional post office service, right? That's why awareness is key. We're being targeted from all directions. That's just the way it is nowadays. We have to be aware of this stuff. So anyway, we also talked about those 5 red flags, too, to be aware of, which, by the way, check back tomorrow. We have another 5 red flags video coming out soon. All right, so I mentioned earlier, usually what we do to wrap up these live streams, if you're joining us for the first time, by the way, still plenty of time to hit like, subscribe, follow, give us some reactions in the chat, say hi in the comments, let us know you're watching. Don't be shy. Say hi in the chat. I want to hear from you. Whether it's on Instagram over here, on YouTube, say hi. Let us know you're watching. Help us out. But usually how we wrap up these live streams, maybe for the last 20 minutes or so, we're going to check out the AARP scam tracking map. And you can find a link to that on our website, scamaware101.com. You click Tools and Software. A lot of useful links here too, by the way, you can check out. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have the AARP scam tracking map. And we're going to take a look at the most recent reports on here and see what people are reporting, the scams that they're being targeted with. And a fun thing about this map is you can put in your zip code and see what's around you specifically, but I always leave that blank and just see what's going on throughout the country here. So let's take a look at maybe a couple pages here and see what kind of scams are being reported. First one, government imposter scam. I've been getting at least 2 to 3 scam calls every day regarding my Medicare coverage and also home and car insurance. By the way, all these scam reports are from the 2nd, so 2 days, right? 2 days old. These are all recent reports. Let's see some more details about what this person says, because this is actually worth taking a minute to talk about, this scam here. They don't give many other details, but they say, I have been getting at least 2 to 3 scam calls every day regarding my Medicare coverage and also home and car insurance. look, it's open enrollment season, right? Everybody's getting new quotes. Everybody's insurance is changing. Everybody's enrolling over here in America, at least, into their annual coverage plans and whatever else is going on, right? The changes that are going on to Medicare, and just look, welcome to America, right? That's how the health insurance, Medicare, and what's going on over here. But there's so much confusion. People don't know what's going on, right? And scammers take advantage of that. And one of the things they do to take advantage is what this person is reporting, right? They're getting these calls all day long that are impersonating their Medicare coverage, their home insurance, their car insurance, right? And in the case of the Medicare coverage and impersonation scams, that's worth talking about. I want to mention, if you get a call from anybody claiming to be from Medicare and they're asking for your personal details, don't give it to them. If they're asking your Medicare number, don't give it to them. This is a common scam. It's a Medicare scam and healthcare scam. They're trying to get Medicare numbers and information so they could file false claims for services and medical equipment, right? So you get these calls. Sometimes they'll say, have you received your new Medicare number yet? And you'll say, no, I didn't. Oh, well, we'll send you out that new Medicare card, but can you please confirm your current Medicare number? But that's all a trick to try and get your information. So don't trust that phone call if you get it. Anybody calling up, asking you medical details, health insurance information, any kind of insurance. It's another example. You have to hang up and then call your provider directly if you're concerned it was real. You can't trust it at face value anymore, even if the caller ID says it's Medicare or your provider. But yeah, it's a good scam report. Let's keep going here. And by the way, as we go through these, feel free to let me know in chat and comments if you've encountered these and know about them. Other scam type. Caller ID, county process server called from 2 area codes, contacted 2 family members. Let's see. Third family requested to call attorney general. Google search. They call. They don't give enough details about it. But hey, if somebody's reaching out, impersonating a county process server, again, do your due diligence. Don't just trust it at face value. They'll reach out through official channels. Gift card scams and fraud. Was told to have a team come out with the U.S. Postal Service to deliver a $4.7 million certified check from what the? Okay, let's see what this one is. This one looks interesting. So they get a phone call. They were told a team was going to come out with the Postal Service to deliver a $4.7 million certified check from Bank of America. I'm supposed to have 2 Amazon gift cards ready as a fee to receive it. Okay. One is $500 and the other is $200. Then I agree to pay them 1% of the award amount, which is $4,700, of which the $700 is a down payment. I set it up for next day as I will be out of town today. I have not done any of this yet, nor will I. Okay, cool. Well, that's an interesting one. It's one of those saying you've won a prize, it sounds like. It's one of those lottery scams, fake prize winning scams, and they try to get you to pay something up front first. And in this case, they're saying you have to purchase 2 Amazon gift cards, right? So red flag, they mentioned gift cards. Always red flag, right? And then they also say you have to pay 1% of the award. They don't go into much about how, but that's how the scam works. Like, you're going to be a millionaire. There's millions of dollars coming your way, but you have to pay us $5,000 of fees and gift cards and all those other stuff. It's a scam. Don't trust it. And look, it fits right into the type of scams we're talking about, and people are reporting it. It's common. Every day people get targeted with these scams. Home-related scam. I tried sending you a link from Tampa Channel News, but the investigative report is Shannon in my home. Let's see if this is a scam we would talk about. Nah, they don't give any details. Let's go back. Let's check out the next page. The next 4 reports here. We'll usually check out maybe like 3 pages. So far, so good. All right, so Dave mentions the craziest Medicare scam I heard of is a new Medicare card going out that had a chip on it. Tell me more, Dave. Oh, so here's a gift card scam and fraud report. It says, I got an email that said it was from the president at the school I work at, and that said he needed me to go purchase a few gift cards for teachers' gifts. Okay, this is actually a common business scam. I don't usually cover this one because I focus on more like individuals. But in the case of business, I did see this a lot. I do see this a lot when I deal with businesses or hear about their experiences. And I've seen this type of scam a lot over the past 25 years, right? And how it works is a new employee gets hired, right? Or in this case, an existing employee gets emailed. And the email is made to look like it's from the president, in this case, the president at her school, or it's made to look like the president or CEO of the company, right? And this email goes out to employees, and it says, I need you to go purchase a few gift cards and send the info over to me, right? The employee thinks that they're going to purchase a few gift cards as instructed, and they're emailing them back to their CEO or their boss, right? They don't realize they're actually purchasing them and sending them to a scammer, right? This is actually a pretty common scam that we see a lot in business. And because of sites like LinkedIn and you know, people list where they work all over the internet, it's easy to find out, you know, where someone works or find, you know, who to target, you know, with a CEO impersonation or president impersonation of the school, right? So anyway, again, but gift cards. Any mention of gift cards, red flag. Woo, woo. You see all these examples of scams that they're mentioning, and so many of them already. I think the majority of them probably mentioned gift cards, right? These scammers, they want to get gift cards. So it needs to cause, you know, an alert to go off your head. Any mention of gift cards. Let's see what else we have here. Here's one. Here's a good one. This looks like a bank impersonation scam. They called saying they were from JP Morgan & Chase Fraud Department and asked if I was aware of 2 transactions of $2,000 on my account by some lady's name. I checked my account and told him I don't see those transactions. He said, are you sure you don't see those transactions? At the moment, I said, you should really stop scamming people, and hung up. All right. Yeah, so, you know, that's just a classic example of these bank impersonation scams. They reach out to you with a phone call or a text message. There's been suspicious activity or 2 transactions of $2,000. Right, and luckily, you know, this lady knew to check and they went through official channels, right? But if she didn't check and confirm, right, they would go in a narrative about you need to move your money, it's not safe, someone has access to your accounts. But yeah, bank impersonation scams. We talked about this one earlier. Always gotta hang up and call your bank directly if you're concerned it's real. But don't trust it. Even if the caller ID says your bank's name and number, you can't trust it. Caller ID can be manipulated by scammers. I'm not sure if they give enough details. Let's see what this report says. Nah. Alright, let's check out the next page. Alright, so these next 4 reports, again, all from, now we're going, these next 2 are from the second, and then we're to the first. So, 2 to 3 days old, but hey, all recent, right? Debt-related scam. Text message. If I made purchase $590 at My World PA when I called their phone number twice at different times. Okay, so let's see what this says. This is more of like a fake order scam situation. I got a recording saying the number I'm trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up. On second day, I texted back to say I did not make purchase. All right, they don't give a lot of details, but it sounds like a classic fake order notification, right? They got a text about a $590 purchase, tells us call number dispute. You know, by the time this person called, you know, it sounds like the number was out of commission already, which is common. You know, these scammers are always changing phone numbers and getting them reported and disconnected. All right, and in his case, the scam stopped there because it's going to reach anybody. But it's a good example of how they tried to trick him. And he's lucky the phone number got disconnected because it sounds like he was about ready to fall for the scam. All right, so fake order scams, watch out for them. In this case, it was a text message. It could be a text message, phone call, email. And we have a video about that one too if you want to check it out, share it with a loved one. Like, follow, and subscribe, my friends. If you're just joining, if you're just watching, make sure to join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. Hit join mailing list. Free to join. We'll keep you updated when we're going live. Post new scam warnings. Make sure to follow us on social media. Hey, we do this live stream every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. You can see our schedule on our website too. All right, so next one's on the 11th and then 18th. Well, we're going to go for another 10 minutes here. Let's check out a couple more reports in the meantime. The real estate scam. I don't know too much about those. We skipped that one. Check. Let's see this person's posting anything. They put check scam. Nah, he just put gets called all day. Yeah, welcome to the club, buddy. We all get called all day. Let's see what else. What other reports are here. All right, let's see. Friend forwarded me email from woman wanting to give away her late son's sewing machine. When contacted, said I could have it, but she is in another state. have to pay shipping. Thought I was dealing with a friend of a friend, but found out after sending shipping that friend didn't actually know this person. Yeah. You know what? This is actually a pretty common scam. I think I might actually have an example or a story to share about that one. But this is an interesting one, and it's worth being aware of. It's kind of a marketplace type scam. And someone, what they'll do is they'll create a fake profile. They'll copy your friend's profile, right? And then they'll send you a message saying, hey, this item's for sale from somebody I know. It's a special deal. You could trust them. You know, go purchase it, right? And the victim thinks, okay, I could trust this person. This is a great deal. I don't have to think it's a scam because my friend's telling me about it. Perfect, right? And they go conduct this. The person says they're out of state. They need money for shipping. You pay extra for shipping. You lose that money. And then you realize after the fact, wait a minute, that wasn't really a friend. It was a fake profile. A little complex, but it's a common scam that we're starting to see as far as marketplace scams and these fake profiles, impersonating people you know. Those fake profiles too. They'll message, they'll create a fake profile, message all the friends, and be like, "Hey, I'm stuck. Stranded. My car's broke. You send me $100. Or I have an emergency. Could you help out?" And you don't realize it, but you're sending money to a scammer. You're not sending it to your friend. So these are usually little scams. For $100, couple $100, maybe $1,000, right? But usually the losses for these type of scams aren't too much. You know what? Well, let me take that back. Depending on the item that's supposedly being sold, right? So the example we have here, I just remember what the example was. It was a piano scam, a piano for sale scam. Here it is. I just have a note and didn't put any details, right? So the whole idea is that they try to get you to pay extra for the shipping, but it's never delivered, right? You think it's safe to pay extra for the shipping, right? And you're thinking, well, why would I pay extra for shipping? Because let me break it down from the beginning for you. You get a message out of nowhere from a friend, right? And it says, hey, listen, I know you wanted a piano. A friend of mine is getting rid of this piano for free. Right? They won't even say it's a low price grade. They'll say a friend of mine is moving. They're getting rid of a piano for free, right? And the piano's worth thousands of dollars, but they just want to get rid of it. The only thing is you have to pay to have the thing moved out, right? And it could be a few $100s or $1,000 to move this piano, but the piano itself is worth so much more than that, right? And it's a great deal. The person's just getting rid of the piano, and it's so worth it. If you just pay a few $100s for shipping, you get this piano that could be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. You just have to pay the shipping to get the thing shipped. And to ship a piano, it could be, pretty expensive, right? But it's still worth to get the piano, the value of the piano, right? That's how a scam works. And it seems too good to be true, right? And it is too good to be true. But because this fake profile who you thought was your friend messaging you, you believe, okay, well, it really is a deal. My friend knows this person, so I know it's not a scam. You didn't realize the scam was a profile that was pretending to be your friend. That's how you got scammed. Anyway, I don't know if I explained that right, but it's an interesting scam. It's known as, I think it's known as like a piano scam, because piano was one of the big items they would say. This piano's worth tens of thousands of dollars. My friend's just getting rid of it, but you just have to pay shipping, right? Well, I can trust it. You know the person. Sure, I'll pay them shipping, $1,000, $2,000 for shipping to get that piano. But the scammer gets that money, no piano exists, and you find out your friend never sent you that message. It was actually a fake profile. Anyway, interesting scam. And you know what? That's a great scam. I'm going to wrap up on that one because that was a good one. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about that. We never talked about that scam before. I've been meaning to. It's been on my list. So anyway, cool. So watch out for those types of scams on marketplace sites. And you get a message from someone you think is a friend. Call them on the phone, right? You get some random message on Facebook or something like that. Call your friend on the phone and talk to them, over the phone and confirm that they actually sent you the message. Most of the time, they're going to say no. And with AI, you might not even be able to rely on that advice anymore. They clone people's voices now. Soon enough, they're going to be cloning friends' voices and tricking into calling fake phone numbers. So anyway, just be aware of that scam. Watch out for it. Don't fall for it. I'm going to wrap up on that one, folks. All right, cool. I think it's time to get this live stream wrapped up. I said I was going to wrap up about 8:45, so we still got another 5 minutes to go. We started about 3 hours ago, right? 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. Let's check out some of the comments here. See what Dave says. Oh, right. So we were talking about the chip. And from ARP, a 73-year-old widow in a small town in North Dakota learned about it the hard way. Early in September, a man called unexpectedly and offered her a plastic chip card to replace her paper Medicare ID. Plastic chip card. I don't know what that plastic chip card does, or I'm going to have to look up more details about that. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters what they're offering to, they're just offering, even if they say, hey, it's a new Medicare card, we're going to send you, and whether they send something or not. I think the whole idea is they just try to steal the person's Medicare ID first, their Medicare number. I'm surprised they even sent anything afterwards with a plastic chip. Anyway, interesting. At the end of the day, anybody calls you up mentioning Medicare, trying to get information out of you, don't trust it. Look. Last year, I gotta get a video done about these cyber breaches that happened last year, right? Because pretty much everybody's healthcare information got breached last year. Almost every major phone provider has been breached in the past couple of years. 2 out of 3 major credit report bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, like 2 out of 3. Equifax and TransUnion got breached. Like, our data is out there because all these huge data banks and corporations and agencies that have data banks of information, they're getting breached. All the major phone companies got breached. Most of the major cable providers have gotten breached. A lot of grocery stores and food vendors getting breached. It's ridiculous how much of our information is out there. A background check company got breached last year. Almost everybody's social security numbers in the U.S. were exposed, right? So these scammers, they have so much information about us, right, that when they call you up, they know what insurance company to impersonate. They might already know what insurance company you have already. They might know you're on Medicare already. They might know what your doctor's name is. They may impersonate your doctor's office. We get reports about this where patients, they call their doctors and they're like, hey, someone just called, it's claiming to be from your office. It showed your office's number and name on a caller ID, right? But it wasn't the doctor's office. It was a scammer. They knew the doctor, who the doctor was, because of these cyber breaches and because of that information about us that's been stolen and out there, right? And the scammers know to impersonate, which insurance company to impersonate, which doctor impersonate, and they'll say, hey, look, I know your social security number. That confirms that it's us. We wouldn't know that otherwise, but it's a scam. They would, So anyway, in the case where they're calling you up, asking Medicare information, your Medicare number, whatever their story is, you have to hang up and then reach out directly to Medicare. Or you have to confirm all stories. You can't trust it anymore, no matter how much they know about you or what they say. Right? And really, that's one of the big takeaways when it comes to scam awareness. You have to verify everything. You have to hang up and verify through official channels without trusting. You just can't trust that initial phone call. You can't trust those links. You can't trust those QR codes. You just can't trust it. You have to verify. That's the age we live in, sadly. It is what it is. And on that happy note, we're going to wrap up this live stream. So thank you, everybody, again, who attended. You're the best. Dave, I know you're still here. Thank you so much for attending. And the super thanks to $7, man. I appreciate you, as always. All right. Anybody else that's still here, any of the other regulars, if you're still here, I appreciate you. I think most of you are gone at this point. Katie and John, I don't think you're around, but I appreciate you both, too. And anybody else that's just kind of watching and keeping silent, behind the scenes, hey, I appreciate you, too. Take a minute, hit that like button if you haven't yet. It really does help spread awareness about these scams. And as you can tell, we're just trying to put something good out there. We shared all these examples with you and went over all these different types of scams. And really, the point is just to spread awareness, So take a minute if you haven't yet to join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com. Hit that like button, follow, subscribe on all your favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube. Right, I see Johnny is back, so I just want to remind everybody, because I'm not sure if you heard me mention it before. So, anybody that has any questions about Labubus with this holiday season coming out, reach out to John over there. The YouTube chat. He's here every week on the live stream. If you're trying to look for any deals on Labubus or find, those rare Labubus for this holiday season, reach out to Johnny. He's always mentioning that in the chat. He's a Labubu expert, right? So. He's always here, too. So if you're not here for the scam awareness tips, come for the Labubu tips this holiday season. I'm having fun, folks. It's getting late. I'm getting a little loopy. I'm having fun here. Anyway, Thank you again for attending. I appreciate you all. If you want to help out and tip a few bucks, we have super thanks enabled on the YouTube side of things. You can hit that thanks button. We have some monthly memberships that you can subscribe to help support our mission here. You can check out our merch store. It's on our YouTube channel, and we have a link here on our website at the bottom where it says gift shop and merch. You can help support our mission. Purchase some Scamware 101 coffee mugs and travel mugs. We have water bottles available, mouse pads. Order now, get it by Christmas. Make great gifts for the holidays, and also help support our mission here. Goes to a good cause, right? I think that's about it, folks. Yeah, scamaware101.com/donate if you want to donate directly. We'll take that too. Can't forget that. But hey, listen, it's holidays, money's tight. I don't expect anything. I appreciate it if you do. It's all good, but just hit that like button, give us some reactions, share our content, follow, subscribe. That just helps too. Really just want to get awareness out there and help. Help avoid scams and maybe make a little dent and help spare some people a crisis by losing their money, right? Anyway, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you all. I'm going to get this live stream wrapped up. Make sure to tune in next week. Same day, Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We're streaming live on Instagram and YouTube. Join the mailing list for reminders. Have a great night, everybody. And thanks again. Oh, we're going to wrap up with our theme song. As I take a moment to shut down the live streams. Enjoy our theme song. Thanks again, Dave. Have a good one.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer with truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pick butchering scams, fat wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scammer 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping. Snatch your cash, then you broke in despair. Stay woke, my people, man, these crooks don't care. Wrong number text, they pretend they know you. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send the bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or else they're taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears or sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send the bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or else they're taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears or sell you a dream.